Do you think people are genuinely confused about racism? And this ties into the whole Joe Rogan thing. So many people caping for Joe Rogan, being confused about the ramifications of caping for Joe Rogan, people being confused about the ramifications of not calling out systematic white supremacy. A lot of people will make excuses for systematic white supremacy. I was doing a live on Twitter, not Twitter, on Instagram the other day, and I had one brother on, and he was doing the typical "ain't nobody supreme over me. I don't want to call it white supremacy." Why do you think black folks oftentimes get on that wave where they want to play these little word games with themselves and not want to admit what the real problem is? I understand the dominant society wanting to play dumb and naive about systematic racism. Because let's be very clear, nobody in the dominant society, the dominant white society, and the wannabe white society, they're not confused. They'll play confused, but they're not confused at all. But some black people, I think they're genuinely confused. Some are just scared and they play naive just like other people. But I have this guy, he was on this whole wave saying, ain't no white supremacy, ain't no white supremacy. We shouldn't call it that. We shouldn't call it that. Let's call it something else. That's the danger to that, man. You have to understand if you're dealing with a problem, you have to call the problem what it is. You have to deal with the symptoms for what they are. If you don't do that, it becomes a cancer, and that cancer spreads all over. And what we do, we allow this cancer of systematic white supremacy to keep spreading. And the first step into eradicating the cancer is to acknowledge that it's a cancer. We really got to understand the power of acknowledging problems and not just sit around and let things fester. It's very important to understand that understand that dynamic. Let me get a couple of y'all in here real quickly because I want to chop it up with the family early on. Let me get Malcolm the Mayor in here. Shout out to Malcolm the Mayor. What's up, Malcolm? Malcolm the Mayor. Turn your microphone on, Malcolm.
Oh,
What's up, player?
what's good, Tariq, man? What's popping, man?
I'm good
FBA all day, baby.
all day. Are you still in Atlanta, Malcolm?
Yeah. I'm in the A, man. I'm in the A. We met one time back in the days with your man. What's your man name that used to rap from College Park?
Was it Snow?
Snow. Yeah. This is a
Yeah,
minute
I
ago, though.
remember we kicked it with you out here. I remember.
Yeah, what's good? Hey, I just wanted to say something real quick, and I'm out, man. I'm in the A. I've been out here since the '90s, like '98. And
Yeah,
when I first touched down out here, man, I had an infatuation with these Ethiopian women. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, damn, And the first warning I was getting from the blacks, my black people was like, yo, they don't rock with us like that. Then
yeah,
I would see that when I would go out at night and all of that, man. Like you would see the Ethiopian guys with the black women, but you would never see a black man with an Ethiopian woman. But they would come to our clubs, parties, rock with us, party with us. But as far as relationships and all that, you would never see that. That's all I wanted to say, bro.
real. Thank you, bro. Yeah, they've been on that for a long time. Yeah, and this is the thing. A lot of people are complaining that foundational Black Americans are kind of um, marking our line in the sand as far as our culture. But other people have been on this wave for a long time. They've been on this divisive thing when it comes to us and this exploitive thing. And now that we're calling it out, they want to cry foul. But they've been doing this stuff, man. This is nothing new. And now that we, as foundational Black Americans, we're not allowing ourselves to be invisible. The name of the game is for foundational Black Americans to act as if we don't really exist so that we can act as the glue for other cultures. You understand? We're supposed to be invisible. We're supposed to be a non entity that glues every other culture together. So everybody from different cultures, they're supposed to be allowed to acknowledge their specific cultures and lineages, but not us. When we do it, all of a sudden, it's divisive. I want black folks to get off. Don't be afraid. Foundational Black Americans, do not be afraid to acknowledge and honor your specific lineage. As foundational Black Americans, we have a unique lineage that other people do not have, and that is not divisive to acknowledge that. It's us paying respect and honor to our specific lineage because we got too many people disrespecting our lineage. Y'all disrespect our icons. Some of y'all people come over from these other cultures, like Nicki Minaj and Rihanna doing all of these little slick memes about foundational Black American icons, stuff like that. We just have to check. The Cynthia Erivos and all of these people, when they show contempt for foundational Black American culture and then white society elevate them to portray some of our icons, unacceptable. Unacceptable. Not gonna have it. And yes, we did make noise about Cynthia Erivo, who spoke very negatively about foundational Black American women. If y'all remember those tweets that everybody was exposing, where she was up here cackling and kikiing with the little white zaddies, talking about she speaking in her ghetto American girl voice, all of these little pejorative negative terms thrown at foundational Black American women. And then she wants to play one of our icons, somebody that Harriet Tubman would have shot her ass. Harriet Tubman wouldn't have rocked with her. And we're not going to let people disrespect our icons because let's be clear, if one of us tried to play one of their icons, they call us out. Right now, they got some white dude, not white dude, but he's a mixed dude. He's not Caribbean. He's mixed with something. I forgot what he's mixed with, but they're going to have him play Bob Marley. And boy, they're crying foul. They were like, hey, how come you couldn't get a Jamaican to play him? How come you couldn't do this? How come you wouldn't do that? So they don't like any other people from another culture representing their icons at all. But we're supposed to sit back and let everybody just extrapolate all of our cultural icons and remix it and flip it and disrespect our icons. So no, we're not going to let that happen. That is what it is. All right, let's see who we got here. Um, da-da-da. Let's get proudly African. Proudly African. Proudly African. Hop on, sir.
Hey Tariq.
Hello, sir.
Yes. I'm good. I'm pretty popular among your folks' spaces, so they know me. They don't like me. They don't want to hear me talk. But I'm glad you accept my, my request this evening. So
Yeah.
my real question is, with the whole movement of the FBA thing, and apparently this is separating specific group of people from other blacks, right? But and on the other side, you talk about fighting against the, I mean, white supremacists or whatever system they got going on against y'all. Don't
Hmm.
you think that you as a person, or whatever interest you represent, like you are becoming the same monster that you are campaigning against, which is trying to segregate yourself as a foundational Black American, like you're superior to other blacks?
Okay, let's stop right there. That's a projection, and that's your own inferiority. That's your inferiority. I have never said, nor has any other person I know said, that they are superior because we are not. We're all victims of white supremacy. You, sir, are projecting a complex you have because you feel inferior
No, I
because,
don't.
sir, that's a complex that you're projecting because
I
you
was
have
asking a
to leave,
question. I'm very comfortable in
sir,
my own skin.
sir, sir, you weren't asking a question. You projected a statement saying that we feel like we're superior and we don't. I've never said that, sir. That's your insecurity because you had to flee your homeland, and that's not
There
being
we go
derogative.
again. There we go again. What makes you feel you are more American than me? What makes you feel you're better than me? That's my point.
Oh, wait. No, you asked me two things. You said what makes me feel like I'm more American, and then you said better. Now let's tackle that. I don't think I'm better than you because we are both victims of white supremacy. We're in the same boat. I am more American than you because I am a foundational Black American.
What is the
My,
foundation of Black America?
you know exactly what a foundational Black
No,
American.
you projecting a false information and false narrative out there. And the crazy thing is,
Okay, you cannot tell me about my lineage and you don't come from it. So you're going to pump your brakes right there, sir. You, somebody who fled from their homeland, can't tell me anything about my homeland, which is this land here. Okay, so that's where you're going to have to stop.
But your claims are not legal
Okay,
on your own show.
excuse. Okay, sir, you brought your janky phone over here with you.
There you go again,
Here we
trying to
go.
be
All right.
arrogant and rude like always.
Okay.
Can't you just have
Okay.
it?
What you're going to do, you're going to shut that mouth of yours, Mbutu, and you're going to listen. You're not going to come over here talking crazy. All right. You're going to pump your damn brakes. And people are sending me tweets of you right now where you've been all in these rooms talking crazy with your jealousy and envy. Okay. You're not going to do that. Now,
Your people know me. They know me. I'm
okay.
not new in the spaces. So
All
you
right.
got to stay focused.
But you're going to shut that mouth, brother. Get you a plate of jollof, sit down, and relax, and let me educate you. Because I don't want to hear anything you have to say if you fled. There's nothing you can tell me if you fled and abandoned your homeland. So you're not in a position to give me any constructive advice on anything, sir. So all
I
you're
think
going
you
to
need
do
to be
is listen.
educated because you put out a
Okay,
lot of false information, things you don't know about.
sir, you fled and failed your homeland. All you're doing is projecting, okay? You can't tell me anything about nothing. And what you're doing is
You have
trolling.
no idea about Africa. You have no knowledge of.
Sir, I know you fled. I know you fled. I know that much, sir. And
No, I
you
did
don't know.
not. No, I did not.
Now calm down and stop being
How about you
emotional.
address the issue I just outlined?
How about how
Um,
about
highlight
you
out there.
how about you take off your kente cloth thong and be a man and talk like a man and stop being
I'm
emotional?
talking like a man. I'm not being
All right.
emotional. I need you to address what I just pointed out,
Okay.
Tariq.
Slow down.
Stop acting like a lady. That's
Okay.
feminine.
So stop it, sir. Are you that dancing Nigerian dude on TikTok?
No, I'm not. How about you
Okay, well
address what I just.
stop acting like him then and be a man. Now you're not going to run your mouth in my space. It doesn't work like that. You're going to show
Stop
respect.
muting me, Tariq. Let's have a
I'm
conversation.
going no, you're not going to run your damn mouth.
Go ahead and address what I
All
say.
right. This is not the immigration office, sir. You're not just going to come in here running and barking out demands. It doesn't work like that. Now, sir, I am more American than you because my family built this country that you fled to. Do you understand that?
I mean, I respect the struggle of the African descendants of slaves and all the things they gone through. I respect that. That is no doubt. Like I'm not like going that way. I respect that. I respect the struggle. I respect everything. But what I don't like about your movement is you are creating more division than trying to like unify.
That's a projection. You are already divided in your homeland. Over there, where you fled from, y'all have a gazillion different ethnic groups and tribes that's all bickering with each other. And you're bringing that same energy here. That's a projection. Do you understand that?
Are you telling me that the foundational black or the black Americans, are you telling me that they are united as one? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, we are.
Really? So
Foundational,
what's with
foundational Black Americans are generally all on code with each other. We don't do that type of bickering that y'all do
on
over there.
code? On
Yes, we
code?
are. Yes, we are.
Now you bugging. I was taking
Yes,
you
we
serious for a
are.
minute, but now you're more of a joke to me. Did you just say on
Yes, we are.
code? The other night, Tara was like having you tuck your tails in your ties, running away, trying to act like the tech issues and all.
Okay, just stop trolling and saying anything. Nobody had tech issues. Stop pretending somebody was one upping somebody. This person called up making a fool of themselves and they know it. And you're being disingenuous. So now you're
Stop muting
doing,
me, Tariq. Let's.
because no, you're going to get an education because you're coming in here lying and scamming, which is part of that culture that has messed up your homeland. And you want to bring your same lying, scamming mentality over here to us. And we're just not allowing that, sir. Is that what you're upset about?
The only thing I want to bring here is the request for you to enlighten me about your movement, which is fraudulent. You're defrauding the gullible, the
Another projection. Because you scam and scheme and cut each other's throats back home, you're projecting your scams and schemes onto us. All you're doing now is projecting your scam mentality. Everything you're doing is a projection, which is the reason why we are acknowledging our culture being separate, because we just don't have such a scamming mentality like that. That's why you're projecting so much, sir. And
No,
that's,
I'm not projecting anything.
yes, you are.
I'm spitting facts, and I'm
You're not.
saying that whatever claim you're trying to put out there, it is illegal. It is a fraudulent claim.
What are you talking about? What's illegal? You're saying anything right now. You're like an emotional baby mama. You're just saying anything that not it don't
FBA is
fit.
illegal. It's not
How
recognized in the American
how is
Constitution.
LA? How is FBA illegal? What are you talking about? Just elaborate on that and stop being emotional. How was FBA illegal? Explain that.
Why it's illegal? Because as far as the American law or constitution or whatever laws that guide you as an entity in American, on American soil, the title of FBA is not recognized by your own government. And secondly, why have you refused to answer the you know
Okay, you just did some nigger babbling right now. You're nigger babbling. So you're saying us acknowledging our foundational Black American lineage is illegal because it's not recognized by the government? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that FBA is not recognized.
Okay, you are a moron, and I refuse to further discuss anything with somebody who's so moronic. You're just emotional and moronic, and I'm going to let you go because you're not saying anything constructive. You're just babbling for attention. All right. Now, family, you see how easy that is when you're talking to somebody who's a moron, who's just emotionally babbling. Understand, you have no obligation to entertain morons. So you just let them go. When people just come around you saying anything and then babbling, these people just want attention. You just want to feel relevant. And it's not our job to give you any form of relevancy. We got to let people wither in the dust like they're going to do anyway. All right. I'm not trying to entertain emotional tether babble. All right. Let's get some more people in here. All right. A lot of people here. A lot of people here. And I'm not here for the emotions. Let me explain how this thing works over here. We have constructive dialogue. If you have an issue or if you want clarity, that's fine. We're here to talk issues and clarity. What you're not going to do is call up projecting your scam mentality, projecting your emotions, making up a bunch of straw man arguments, and whining like a punk. We're not going to have that. I'm not, this ain't the punk hotline. All right, let's get this person here. Somebody I just added. You got some interesting lettering on your page. I don't know what that is. It looks like Ethiopian or Somalian language. I don't know what it is, but go ahead and speak up, sir. Hey, hello. Okay. Y'all want to get that phone together? All right, while I'm waiting on that, let's get France in here. Let's get France. France, turn your microphone on. Hello, France. Okay. Let's get these microphones working like they're supposed to work. All right, let's get John Recang. Let's get him in here. All right, listen. Let's try this. If your microphone is ready, raise your hand because I don't want a bunch of people with janky phones requesting to get on and your microphones aren't working. Why don't you download some updates for your iPhone 1? All right. All right. If you're ready to talk, let's get busy. All right. Let's try this person. Spare
Hi,
change.
Tariq.
All right. Okay. Hold it. Is that John?
Yeah, this is John over here.
Okay, John. What's going on? What's happening with your phone, sir?
I don't know, man. I was just muted a bit there. I had to unmute myself. Anyway, I just want to say
There you go. What's Go ahead.
I'm from South Africa over here, and I just want to say that I'm proud of the work that you guys are doing over there, man. It's really high time that
I,
foundational Black Americans start speaking for.
oh, your phone, brother. Your phone. Oh, okay. I have you call back, brother. That phone. We got to work on getting you a phone, brother. All right. Spare C. Turn your microphone on. Unmute your microphone,
Yo,
and then
what's going on, man? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Spare. How are you, brother?
I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling. Yeah, so I've been following this whole diaspora war thing going on, man, or whatever you call it. Um, and I'm pretty split here. So I'm personally I'm African, man. Grew up in America though, so
Now, where's your family from?
Zambia.
Zambia. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So I see both sides, right? You know, you're very right in saying that people from Africa, some do tend to be racist, but I mean, growing up, there's always been a tension between African and American born, you know, FBAs, right? So,
But here's the thing. Even if there's a tension,
mhm,
even if there's a tension between the two, there's only been a benefit to one group. You see, so other groups still benefit, even if there's some tension. The other groups still benefit from foundational Black Americans. We get the tension without the benefit. We don't benefit from the other groups at all.
right.
And that's the issue. And the tension is getting greater now. So we're already not getting any benefits from it. So we're like, okay, damn, there's only so much tension we're going to tolerate from these groups that we're not benefiting from anyway. So a lot of the tether class, not the masses, but the tether class who comes over with these anti-FBA ideologies, we're just checking that. We should have been checking it a long time ago, but it's gotten to the point now where it's getting a little more serious because a lot of things that we're trying to do as far as get tangibles for ourselves, some of these outside groups are just going overboard with undermining us at this point. So we're not getting benefits and we're being undermined. So
So when you say undermine, so I saw that you posted videos of like Sam Acho, etc. You know, black or excuse me, non-FBAs that are here undermining the movement. So I guess my question is, when you say that you guys are taking action and checking, what is your course of action? Like what do you want to see from Africans coming here?
what we're doing now, what we have to do now is separate riffraff behavior. That's
Okay.
what we're doing now. So a lot of times when people come over from the Caribbean, from Africa, if they do something constructive, they go out of their way to differentiate their constructive activity from foundational Black Americans. So if somebody comes over here and gets a PhD, oh, I'm the first Ghanaian American with a PhD. It's a Ghanaian thing.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, I hear what you're saying.
yeah, with some of these politicians, they're saying, well, this is the first Haitian American congresswoman here, the first Jamaican American congressperson there. So if it's positive, they separate themselves from us. But if it's negative, they just dump it on us. If somebody
So,
comes over from Jamaica, the Caribbean, or Africa, and they are robbing banks, well, it's just Black people robbing banks. So they get
right,
lumped in with us, and then we have to walk around with that stain on us. For example, out in New York right now, there's a lot of crimes by Caribbeans going on in New York right now. They have some,
absolutely.
they got something that drill music thing, that whole drill music where the mayor's talking about. They're making a big thing about cutting down on drill music videos. Almost every single one of those dudes are non-FBA. Every single one of them. But that type of activity gets thrown in the black pot. And then when there's pushback and when there's certain type of laws that are supposed to combat that, then it becomes a stop and frisk against all black people. See, we got to eat the brunt of that. So stuff like that, we're saying, hey, we're going to have to differentiate ourselves from some of the riffraff behavior because we are a distinct culture as foundational Black Americans, and other people, they acknowledge their culture. We don't complain. They shouldn't complain when we acknowledge our distinct lineage. That's all we're saying.
No, I think you guys are well within your right to uh, claim that distinction.
Right,
And it's actually interesting that you say that. So a lot of the conversations I've heard with you have been unproductive. It's just African people coming on trying to beef with you. I'm just
right,
trying to figure out where you're coming from. You
right,
know what I'm saying?
right.
And that's actually an interesting point that you bring up, that you guys get tied into the BS that happens with African people committing crimes, et cetera, et cetera. And they see us as a blanket, whereas when it's success, there's, oh, I'm Haitian American, et
Yeah,
cetera.
exactly, exactly.
Now,
So
my,
we're just trying to clear the air on who's who and who's really doing what, because we're
right,
just going to have to keep the same energy across the board. If people want to say, because people have no problem separating themselves from us as long as it's positive. People go out of their way to separate themselves from foundational Black Americans. People
yeah,
have already been doing that. So now that we want to take some of our positive achievements and say, okay, this is us. Now people are like, hey, wait a minute, we all one. Don't do that. That's divisive. We're all brothers. So no, we're gonna
yeah.
have to we got to keep the same energy all across the board. We got to keep that same energy.
No,
Uh,
okay, I get it. I get
there
it.
you- but thank you, brother. Much respect to you, brother. Yeah, that's what we on, family. It's all about the same energy. It's all about keeping energy. Every other group, if you want to do positive things within your group and chop it up as a win for your group, we're doing the same. And we have a right to do it, and nobody should complain. The fact that we're doing it, people are having hissy fits. This fool talking about, listen how emotional that first dude was, because so many people, they've leached off of our lineage and culture for so long, they feel entitled. Now that they're being excluded from that, now they want to cry foul. And we're not obligated to sit here and pretend that we are invisible. Foundational Black Americans, we are not invisible. We have a unique lineage on this land that no one else has. And there's nothing wrong with us acknowledging that. We are not invisible. Let's get some people up here. We look like we got do we have a Trump supporter here? This is interesting. Where is he? What happened to him? And some guy had some Trump stuff on his thing. The Trump guy, I want to get you back on here. There you go. Hold on. Let's speak. Here for Trump. Is that your name? Hello, here for Trump.
From.
Oh, here for the comments. Oh, I see. You pee. Okay, I'm looking at a Trump sign on your page, and your pee is a dog
Yeah, a
peeing on the
dog
Trump
peeing
sign.
on Trump. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay, okay, there we go. I thought
Yeah,
it was
I'm not a
something
Trump
else.
supporter, so if you mislabeled me and I'm good to back off and let anybody else talk.
Oh no. I thought that I saw the sign. I didn't see the dog peeing on the sign. I thought it was a Trump
Yeah, I
supporter.
thought it was fun.
That's. Oh, okay, all right. So, what's your name, sir? Where you from?
My name is Glenn. I am from South Carolina.
There you go. So, what's on your mind, sir?
Oh, well, are people confused about racism? Is what I jumped on this to talk about, I guess. But
Yes.
I don't think they are, to be honest. I live in South Carolina, like I said, and there's a lot of goddamn racists around here,
Right.
and they're
Right.
easy to let you know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They'll just let you know in a heartbeat. But I mean, I don't know where I'm gonna go with it, other than to tell you I'm not racist.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, thank you so much. All right. Let's get Harriet. Harriet Tubman's pistol. Harriet Tubman's pistol. Let's get Harriet Tubman's pistol on here.
So Tariq.
What's up,
I'm
family? How are
thoroughly
you?
blessed. I just first wanted to
Oh,
start this off by saying I really appreciate what you're doing for us for FBA, and yeah,
yes.
you really a blessing to us, and I really look up to you. I just wanted to let you know that.
Much
All
respect,
right, and I
family.
want
We
to I want to stay on topic. So, are people confused about racism? No, they're willfully ignorant about racism. A lot of our people, especially people who supporting Joe Rogan, they're suffering from safe Negro syndrome. All right, they
yeah,
want to they want to
yeah,
coon in peace,
yeah,
so they can continue benefiting off the association with whiteness. That's
yeah,
that's what's really going on. And I feel like as far as the diaspora, like you said, people have been eating off our plate for so long. We personally have nothing left, but they starting to steal anything that we have, whether it's water, clothing, all of that. And we saying no more. And other people get to call themselves, they get to delineate themselves, calling themselves Ethiopian or Jamaican or what have you. But as soon as we do it, it's a problem. It's
yeah,
only a problem because y'all benefiting off of us so much that it's getting to a point where we gonna be out here destitute politically or what have you more so than we already are. And that just
yeah,
shows how much that they don't care about us, that we want to make this distinction so we can get a justice claim that's clearly owed to us 100 times over, but y'all want to prevent us from doing that. But you all want to separate yourselves, like you said, when it benefits you, but just throw all the
yeah.
baggage on us to keep us down and keep us the bottom caste in America. And we're saying no more.
Absolutely, my man. I appreciate you. Thank you for the call. Thank you so much. And Shells, if you want to turn your microphone on, but my brother made some very good points. We are not invisible. Again, a lot of groups want us to sit here and be invisible for our own interest so that we can help facilitate their progress. That's been the whole game. That's another offshoot and extension of slavery, ladies and gentlemen, where we as black foundational black Americans, we're supposed to sacrifice our own self-interest by working to benefit others. Every group wants us to be in that slave mentality when it comes to dealing with them. We don't get nothing. We're the sacrificial slaves. Our job is to sit here and just make sure everybody is good while we are a non-entity. That's not going to happen. We've done that long enough, and we've done it thinking that, okay, well, somebody's going to ultimately reciprocate. Ultimately, some of these other groups are going to be so appreciative of us working for them and doing so much for them that they're going to reciprocate one day, and that reciprocation has never come, and it's not coming. So we're going to look out for ourselves. And other people sitting around talking about how divisive that is, that's hypocritical. It's extremely hypocritical because when we start pointing out, you've already divided yourselves from us as a group because we don't benefit from nobody. We don't get any benefits from any other group. They're not even trying, to be honest. They're not even trying to extend anything tangible to foundational black Americans. And hell, even the thought of it, if you bring it up, it's like you niggas are preposterous for even thinking that we're supposed to do something for you. Yet we're supposed to put the capes on and these weak shaming tactics, that doesn't work. Just running around yelling xenophobia and you're divisive, and that doesn't work. And what they have to do, they have to keep creating straw man arguments that don't exist. Notice whenever people hop in who are naysayers, they always create these straw man projective arguments that none of us have made. They come in here talking about, oh, you think you're superior than us. You said, you know, that's a straw man argument because they cannot deal with reality. The reality is they're going to have to do for themselves because we can't sit here and put the capes on for them because we're going to have to start looking out for ourselves and we're going to acknowledge our culture and our lineage. Let's get some more people in here. Let's get some more people in here. All right, let's try this dude with the T gray dude. Okay, this T gray guy. Let's get your let's get your stuff going on, man. Yeah, and then we'll get the Burt guy.
Hi, Tariq. How are you, brother?
I'm good. What's your name, sir?
My name is Samson, and I am here in Australia.
Okay, what's on your mind?
Yeah, what's on my mind? So, I grew up in a very multicultural environment, right? I'm born and raised in
Yeah,
Italy, and um, I'm from Tigray, I will say,
yeah.
and I'm pretty sure probably where Tigray is. So, I grew up in a different kind of multicultural environment where I have me being black in Italy, and then I have my Ethiopian community, like East African, I will say, community, and then you have
Mm-hmm.
the West African communities and the American community. Because where I'm from, we have the NATO base, the Army base, especially in my city where I'm born and raised. And I grew up amongst a lot of African Americans since I was young, and I see
Mm-hmm.
a lot of like difference of being like black, okay. And but one thing I always see was a little bit of racism that not Africans have towards African Americans, but the African Americans, like older, like the soldiers that were there, like is still present now, have when even like they speak about Africans. I know that these things now are changed. Like now they're not like that anymore. Like I could see like every time I go back home and I see like some African Americans, we have a chat and stuff. Now it's different, especially like when the Black Lives Matter thing happened. But back in the days, there is this kind of like um, this association of being like African. So I never understand what the African American like word when you say African American. Is it just because you guys are black? Because what I believe is African American have is a race.
Okay.
So but I could see like the how they associate with being like African, and I totally understand that because as I said, I think African Americans they have their own race, and which I really respect. I mean, I grew up
Okay.
like
Let's hold on. Wait. We got to slow it down. Okay, let's slow it down a minute. So you said you feel that African Americans, well, foundational Black Americans, were racist towards you, Ethiopians.
not Ethiopians, like dissociate with like completely like Africans, not like specifically Ethiopians. Absolutely not.
So you think foundational Black Americans have always been racist towards
This
Africans?
is what I perceived. Like this is what I perceived with my experience being amongst like African American. And I've been to United States. I traveled in the United States. So, and I probably there I could find like a little bit different when I was in Harlem. For example, I can see that whether you're from Nigeria or whatever, you are African American. Like I feel
Okay.
like the acceptance there. I saw that the African Americans accept
Okay. Okay.
the
Okay. Slow
yeah.
down. Slow down. How do you think you were able to immigrate to the United States?
I don't know. I would never, but
But you went to Harlem
yeah, I went visit. I went to
to
visit. I
visit.
always
Oh,
been a
okay.
fan of. I grew up, as I say, I grew up amongst African American, and of course, like
Okay.
when you are a black person living, like born and raised in Italy, the
Hold on.
fact that what the I was very attached to more the African American community than being Italian. So listen to hip
Okay.
hop music and stuff like that.
Okay. Slow down. Okay. I want to get clarity because you're going all over the place. Because you said something and you've just been kind of rambling on. Let's slow it down. Because I want to get to this thing where you thought that foundational Black Americans were racist towards Africans. And that's not the case. Foundational Black Americans, we've been the only people who have been helping African people and been fighting for African people. And we've been upholding African history and culture and elevating it. No other group has been doing that. Not even Africans. Now, did you hear what I just said? Hello. Turn your microphone on, sir.
Yeah. Sorry, you just muted
Okay.
my mic. Yeah. No, I totally understand and I totally get it. I absolutely. But
Okay,
now
so
I just
how
want to.
do okay, so now that you get it, I don't want you to babble now. I want you to stick
Yeah.
with that. If you
Yeah.
get it, if you know that it's been foundational Black Americans, we've been the ones talking about Pan Africanism. The Marcus Garvey movement got popping with foundational Black Americans. It wasn't the Caribbeans. The Caribbeans failed with the Garvey movement. The Garvey movement got popping because of foundational Black Americans. We were the ones bigging up Africa. There was another African who came over and he finessed a lot of people named Chief Sam. He had another Back to Africa movement, and Black folks were going over there to elevate Africa, and they got finessed. But Black people have always, foundational Black Americans, we've always been bigging up Africa, giving props to Africa, the AME churches and all that, the African Episcopal Medical, we've always been throwing the name out there, giving props to our African side of our lineage. We've always been doing that, sir. In the 1930s, foundational Black Americans saw that Ethiopians were about to be invaded by Italy, which you went to Italy. Foundational Black Americans by the thousands in this country signed up to go volunteer to go over there. It was Black people like John Robinson who learned how to build planes. He built a plane and went over there to Ethiopia to help the Ethiopians out. He taught the Ethiopians how to fly planes, sir. In the 1960s, it was foundational Black Americans going over there to help fight colonialism. Dr. King, Malcolm X, so many other people. It was foundational Black Americans fighting to help get those immigration laws relaxed so that Black people from the diaspora could come here. So, sir, when you say that, well, it seems like foundational Black Americans are just racist towards us, I find that very disrespectful to not just me, but to my foundational Black American ancestors, sir. I'm going to be very honest.
That's okay. No, I understand. I mean, that's your point. But I mean, this is what I experienced, and that I and was I what I said before is when I went to the United States, when I actually traveled to the United States, I could see a little bit like a different of what I experienced when I was in Italy.
Okay.
Okay, so when
Okay.
I would see like in Harlem, like an Nigerian or an Ethiopian, I would see like a lot of like, wow, okay, they actually like it's different from what I see like in Italy. I could see like more they integrate the integration they have in America, which I found like amazing because when I left Italy, I was like, wow, I'm pretty sure like I'm gonna find like the African people like just right in the ghetto. Guess what? That's what I was thinking. I was thinking that the ghetto that everybody was talking when when you see the movies or whatever. When I was young, I
Oh,
thought it was African, but not African Americans. Does it make sense from
okay. Well,
from
let's
my
stop right there.
experience
Let's
with
stop.
African Americans
Wait. Let's
being like,
stop.
are you
Wait.
African like this? Are you African at poor? Are you African at this? Or
Wait. Slow down. Slow down. Slow down. Slow down. Slow down. Because I hear people say that, and that's false. What what media apparatus do you see showing Black Americans in a ghetto? Turn your microphone on.
yeah. Oh, I was in the United States, so I mean when I say
Okay, but what? No, no,
when
no,
I say
no.
get,
But
I don't think
where
everybody.
did you get the "we're in a ghetto" narrative? Because that's not
Yeah.
shown on television. So where did y'all get this narrative that we're in a ghetto? Because
Well,
that's not you. That's not what you see on television over there. That's not what you
no.
see at all over there in Ethiopia or any world media outlet. You don't see foundational Black Americans in ghettos. That's not what you see. So where did you get that narrative?
Well, what I get this narrative is this is from my experience with Americans, especially Black African Americans in Italy. Okay, so and every time I was even talking, or
Okay, let's
every time
try
it
it
was.
again. No, 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 sir. I'm trying to be patient with you, but you're going all over the place. I want you to be focused, sir. I want you to be focused. You're all over the place. Let's tackle one thing at a time. Let's tackle because see, teaching, I want people to have clarity when you hear certain narratives, when they say, well, in the media, we just thought you all in the ghetto. No, that's not the media that told you that. The media doesn't tell you that, because I've been over to these countries. They don't show foundational Black Americans in ghettos. They don't show that.
Could you give me an explanation? Because now the reason why I'm here, to be honest, because I've, your this space, it's kind of like very informative and
Yes,
funny
it
at
is.
the same time. To be
Yeah,
honest, like I'm learning so many things.
right.
Even though I'm not an African American, but I really want to understand and really want to learn. And I think this is a very like informative.
Thank you, sir. All right. Thank you, sir. All right. Okay. Yeah, I don't want people to babble. I'm trying to give you the benefit of the doubt. I would like for people to talk, but I just don't want people kind of babbling their thoughts out. And then when they say certain things, and then you kind of try to get them to elaborate, they just want to babble some more. All right. We don't need babbling in these spaces. We don't want babbling. All right. And my man was just going to jump all over the place. Tev, is that your name? Tev? And then we'll get you next, Burke. Tev or Teve.
Yeah, it's
If you
short for Tevin. Appreciate you having me on. I actually just finished watching Hidden Colors 4, and man, I
good.
just want to say the whole series is great, man. From a perspective from foundational Black Americans, and just like man, it's a great film, man. Just for Black people to know their history, and just because it's not taught in school, it's not taught in the school system. And yeah, I just want to get on there and say, yeah, I appreciate the work that you do, man, for Black people. Just standing tall. I know the
No doubt.
trolls be deep, man. I know the trolls be deep, man.
Oh yeah, we
Oh
got them.
yeah.
We got them, and we got them, brother. But thank you so much. We're handling the trolls. What's up, Burke? Hop on, brother. Burke, if you can come on in, hop on in.
How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you, Burke?
Hey, good. I got to be honest. You are intelligent, unique. Uh, don't always agree with everything you put out there, but it's very engaging. I'd like to switch the narrative
Well, what
just
happened, Burke?
for. Yeah, I'd just like to switch the narrative
Burke,
for
what
a
happened?
little. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. There you go. There you go.
Okay. Um, I'd like to switch the narrative for a moment from my own personal experience.
Okay, go ahead.
As a white dude who grew up between Milwaukee and Chicago
Mm-hmm.
and grew up with a ton of FBA. I mean, pretty much my entire grade school, high school were all FBA people that were awesome in so many ways, sports, you name it, football, wrestling, track, all the way down the line. The narrative that I'm curious about is, so my last name is Irish, Griffin.
Mm-hmm. Uh-oh.
I had two brothers on my
Burke?
team named.
Uh-oh, Burke.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Go ahead. The
Mike.
narrative is what now?
I had two guys that we graduated with that were Mike and Luther, and we had a college
Okay.
coach. Now think about it. We're about the same age, man. Late
Okay,
'80s.
Burke, your phone is really acting up. You got the janky phone, Burke.
Can you hear me, man?
Okay,
Tariq, can you hear
Burke.
me? Tariq, can you hear me?
Uh, I can hear you now, Burke. Go ahead. You
All
said
right, I'm
Mike
going to
and
leave.
Luther.
So I grew up with two guys named Mike and Luther. We were all seniors together. A college coach came to recruit all of us. Those two guys were black. I was white. And
Okay.
the college coach at the time had no idea before he met us. That was the interesting part of it. But he wanted to recruit all three of the Griffin brothers. And the shock on his face when he saw all three of us, we had one guy who was 5'8", 200 pounds, fullback. And then we had two other guys who were 6'3" and 6'4", and both big, but one was white and one was black. And that led to the discussion of last names and surnames in the United States. And Mike and his family traced their roots back to northern Georgia. My family immigrated from Ireland, but never got south of New Jersey. They had the entire family had stayed north in the United States. Why do you think so many FBA, I mean, from Shaquille O'Neal to Tracy McGrady to Eddie Murphy, what do you think the distinct connection is between FBA and Irish immigrants?
Well, even in the Caribbean too, you see a lot of that in Jamaica because there were
Indentured
Irish
servants?
indentured servants. Yeah, there were a lot of Irish indentured servants working with side by side with foundational Black Americans.
And a lot of
And
them, they hooked up.
oh,
Like
yeah, they did. They
they got together.
they did. They did. But the thing is, with the Irish indentured servants, and even when you go to Jamaica, you'll hear a lot of. If you listen to the Jamaican accent, that's really African dialect with an Irish accent. If you take a real good listen to a Jamaican accent, it sounds kind of Irish. Even some of the things that I've heard Jamaicans say, like "top of the morning," all of that. These come from Ireland.
Hmm.
But a lot of the indentured Irish servants, ultimately, when they were finally able to be classified as white, because the Irish were not classified as white at
No,
first.
they actually they had the nickname of Black Irish,
Yep.
and even working along the railroads. I mean, I looked at some of the different things about who built what. I mean, those were the two people that built most of the 1800s America.
I wouldn't say the Irish did. It was foundational Black Americans because the railroad companies, if you look at the records and you can look online and see the records, they owned a ton of foundational Black Americans. They just bought uh, us by the lots, by the dozen.
Okay. I misspoke there. I didn't mean just the railroads in general. I'm saying
Right.
built. I mean, whether it's buildings, whether it's railroads, north, south, whatever. Yeah, I mean, it seems like there's a common theme between the two cultures. And like I said earlier, I mean, I'm white mutt. I mean, I've got Danish, I've got German, I got French, I got Scottish. I'm a mixing pile of white whatever from Europe.
But
You know,
here's the thing with the Irish. Here's the thing with the Irish. The Irish, number one, when they did work to build something, they got paid. And secondly, when they got done with their indentured contracts, they got something called freedom dues. They got money,
right,
land, and they got guns. So they were compensated. That was the big difference.
right.
We have not been compensated. So
Again,
do you think that we should get our 40 acres and a mule just like the Irish got theirs?
oh, I think no matter, regardless of that, absolutely. What I was saying is the identity part of it. Like when you have names like, I mean, Tariq Nasheed, you grew up in Detroit, right?
I grew up in Alabama and Los Angeles. I was
Okay.
born in Detroit, though.
Oh, you're born in Detroit. Okay, I thought you
Yes.
were a Michigan guy. Anyway, that beside all that, like the name part of it, when it comes to Africa or Ireland or whatever country you may be from, it just seems like a very unique bond that so many FBA people that have grown up in this country, whether it's slavery or otherwise, they have so many Irish names. They did not want to take that English WASP uh, authoritarian like name. They refused to when they were like when they left whatever plantation or wherever part of slavery they were part of. They were like, you know what? I'll take that Irish name.
Well, you know what? A lot of poor Irish would move into black areas, like in New York. Up in New York,
Oh,
Central Park was a black neighborhood. That was Seneca
yep.
Village, and
Well,
at
look at every big city.
right,
Every
right,
big
right, right,
city.
right. And poor Irish people, when they immigrated in, they couldn't live among other white people, so they would go live among black people. You know, black people took care of the Irish folks for a long time. So it is a
Yeah.
very unique history. All right.
Interesting. Hey
Yes.
man, love your show. Hey, love your broadcast, love your tweets. Like I said, don't always agree with you. I wish you weren't as much of a quote unquote race baiter and just a race hater. Because you know
Mhm.
what? That's what it comes down to, man. It's all like that should not be a part of anyone's conversation.
There you go. But I like to bait people who are racist so I can expose them. See, that's what race baiting means to me. All right. But thank you so much,
I hear
brother.
you, man. Keep up the good
Uh,
work.
thank you. All right. All right. Let's get Cap. Let's get Cap in here. Cap, are you in here?
Yes. Thank Thanks for letting me on, Tariq. I had a question for you, if you don't mind.
Yes, sir. Now,
Uh,
Cap, where you from? First of all, where you from?
um, I've stayed a long time in the United States, but I drew my first birth in West Africa.
There you go. What part? Nigeria, Ghana?
Yeah,
Where?
Nigeria.
Now you okay? What's on your mind, Cap?
Okay. Yeah, I had a question. Like, do you personally are you personally affiliated to any religion? And secondly, do you think religion has a crucial role to play in racism?
Yeah, my thing is with religion. We unfortunately rely too much on religion because when you rely on religion, you expect some type of entity to do the work for you. We are the religion. We need to do the work for ourselves. So I don't really get too much into the religion thing because I'm all about the religion of empowerment and justice. But go ahead.
Interesting. Yeah. So I think religion has a crucial role to play, especially when I observe that a huge amount of people, I would say, probably identify as FBL, Foundation of Black Americans, will either associate with Christianity or Islam,
Hmm.
and I think that has a role to play. Although it's still a problem with Africans because a lot of Africans identify with either Islam or Christianity,
Right,
and that I feel like has had some impact with us because Christianity, of course, has endorsed or made us refer to angels, because they painted angels as white and demons as black, and that has kind of affected or created an inferiority complex with most blacks and Africans in general, where when you see something white, it kind of looks angelic or divine, and then there's that inferiority we put on ourselves.
right, right. All
Yeah,
right, but thank you so much, brother. All right,
appreciate
let's get Sako. Let's get Sako in. Sako, turn your.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good, Sako. How are you, dear?
I'm good. Thank you so much for accepting me and allowing me to speak in your space.
Mm-hmm.
I hear about your name in so many spaces. Like, why? I mean, in your own words or own terms, why are so many people against you? Or like, why? Like, what's the big chaos and debate behind your name? Like, yeah.
Yeah. So basically, what it is, we foundational Black Americans, we are just really giving props and credence to our lineage, and other groups are really threatened by that because we, as foundational Black Americans, we've been on this big Black melting pot type of ideology where people come in and use our culture to facilitate their own progress, but it has not been reciprocated. So now we're understanding and looking at our culture and seeing how we can gain tangibles and benefits from our own culture the way other people have. So now
Yeah.
they're trying to claim that's divisive. So it's a lot of projection going,
Okay.
you know.
Okay, so I'm like a million, a thousand, a million percent behind um the ideology ideolo-
Ideological.
ideology.
Ideological, yeah. Mhm.
Oh wait, can you say it again? Say it for me.
Is it the ideology?
Ideology. Yes, let's go. Okay.
Now,
I'm a
stop
hundred.
for 1 second. Stop. Now, where are you from? I see two flags on your page. Where are you?
Yeah, so my mom is from Tanzania, my dad is from Guinea. They
Okay.
came to the US for college. They came with their siblings. Their siblings went back to Africa. But like my parents got jobs here and they just decided to stay. So like we're like isolated, but every summer we rotate summers.
Okay,
We
got it.
go to my mom's country, go to my dad's country, and I hang out with my cousins and my aunts and uncles and stuff. But like, okay, so I get that, and I'm like 100 and 1,000% behind it because I feel that.
Hmm.
I am with that. Like Black Americans need to be identified, acknowledged as a group of people that are like a group of people that have their own traditions. Because I was even in a space where like Africans were like, "What are your traditions?" And I'm like, "Wait, hold up." Black American traditions go very, very deep, are
Exactly.
very, very rooted. Yeah. But still, like, do you feel like nowhere in your lineage is tied to Africa
Yes.
whatsoever?
Yes. Everybody's lineage, especially over here in the Western Hemisphere, is tied to Africa.
No, but I'm saying you specifically, like,
Yeah.
as a
Yes.
Tyreek, Nasheed, like, do you feel, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it is. But we're still a distinct cultural
Group of
group. Right.
people, yeah, and I stand by that,
Just
and
like
I
Jamaica,
recognize
ma'am,
that, yeah.
just like Jamaicans. Jamaicans, they're
Yeah,
and they have
exactly. Jamaicans are Jamaicans, Haitians are Haitians. I don't know what other group we can think of that are black that are separate.
Trinidad.
Cubans, black Cubans,
Right.
Afro Puerto Ricans, Afro Cubans, Afro
So, right.
Latinos.
So we
Yeah,
as foundational Black Americans,
yeah,
we have our own distinct lineage. So
yeah.
why do you think a lot of people from the continent has a problem with that?
Honestly, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I just think for a long time, the way things have been set up has been created for us to be divisive and has been created for like everyone to be hateful because a Jamaican, you can talk to Jamaican and they're going to love on an African. You can talk to Haitian, they're going to love on their African like ancestry. But in terms of like America and Africa, I don't know what it is. There's always been this like setup to where it's like, okay, like no. And
What
so
wait, hold
on
on, because
okay,
this is
go
the
ahead.
problem. What setup has it been that's been no? Because ma'am, you're
I
over
don't
here.
know. I'm telling you, I really don't know. And I feel like that's been like that's something that's in history for years. Oh, and then by the way, I just have to also acknowledge the fact that like I don't come from a majority of what represents Africans in America because the majority are Nigerians and Ghanaians and like other countries. Even other Africans, when I tell them I come from Guinea, they don't even know what country that is. Like, my dad's country is super small, and
Right,
like
right,
they are obsessed with African American culture,
right,
or
right.
just obsessed with anyone that's like excited to come
Have
and
you been
visit.
to Tanzania?
Yeah. And
Okay.
so like I'm often in spaces where they're like Africans this, Africans that, and I'm like, "Oh, that's so sad cuz like my dad's country, Guinea, if you come, the people from the deepest of villages are going to bring like they don't have any money, but they're going to bring food, they're going to bring like with the little money that they have, they're going to bring clothing and they're going to present that to you as a gift, as an offering, and
Right,
as an honoring
right. And
of you visiting the country."
I've been to
Yeah.
Tanzania and Zanzibar, and beautiful people.
Zanzibar. Okay, yeah, those countries are different. That's not like my dad's country. Those countries are different. Very, very influenced by white people.
Hmm.
The
Hmm.
white people are like very heavily present in that space. So it's like more modern, but whereas my dad's country is literally like if you're entering 1735, like very I don't want to say
But oh,
backwards. I don't want to say backwards, but it's
got
like yeah, there.
slow down, sweetie, because you're all over the place. Let's bring it back. All right. I want to go back to something you said about Foundation of Black Americans. You think that you made a comment, and can't get lost on the comment. You said that Jamaicans they will acknowledge their Africanness. Certain Caribbeans will acknowledge Africanness, but foundational Black Americans, you said it's something about us that has a problem. Do you think we have a problem with African people?
No, I think it's both ways.
How so?
It has been it's both ways, and I'm listening. It's both ways. It's
How? How?
immigrants immigrants coming here making Black Americans feel like they're less than or they're like not like not like them, and then it's also like Black Americans like being like ew.
No?
You're over there, like, ew, ew, ew. But then again,
Okay.
that's not to say
Hold
that.
on. Just slow down. Slow down. Immigrants don't make us feel anything, man. We don't, they can't make us feel less than. If you are struggling in your homeland and we help you get here, no immigrants make us feel any kind of way. We don't feel less than because of any immigrants, man. Let's clear some of this stuff up. As foundational Black Americans, we're rooted in this land and this culture, and people who have to leave their homeland, they don't make us feel anything less than ourselves. Okay, let's clear that narrative. Okay,
Okay, yeah, no, I'm not trying to say that that's what I'm saying, but
now,
I've been in spaces where Black Americans have expressed that Africans make them feel that way. That
I
African
talk to.
immigrants, yeah, like I'm.
Hold on, no, no, no. They probably mean that we don't want them talking crazy. Just because they're talking crazy, that doesn't mean we internalize it. Okay, we don't want to be disrespected. So we don't, they don't make us feel any less than, because if you come from a culture that you had to flee, you can't make us feel any kind of way. So we just don't want to be
Of
disrespected.
course,
We don't want to be
exactly.
disrespected. After you've helped us.
Exactly. Yeah, and I'm with you, and I hope I'm not
All right.
making you feel like I'm against you.
Okay. Thank you, dear. Okay. 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 Because now I feel like I'm about to be okay. Okay. Okay, sister. I'm trying to work with you, but yeah. Okay. I'm trying to be patient, but you know. She's kind of just, yeah, okay, yeah, okay. You're just talking over. So I feel like certain things are going in one ear and out the other. So yeah, I don't want to talk and things are going in one ear and out the other. Yeah, okay. All right. I like for the things to be constructive. I want it to be constructive. She's just saying things and then, oh, I didn't mean it like, okay. I don't want to do that. All right. Adrian, turn your microphone on, ma'am.
How you doing, Tariq?
Hi, Adrian. How are you, dear?
I'm doing great, man. Long time supporter. I have all the movies. I have my Ogun juice.
That,
I donated to the museum. Waiting on the new Maroon movie. I know it's gonna be dope.
yeah.
I just wanted to just speak on the FBA lineage for a second, if I may.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
So I am foundational Black American. Both my husband and I are. I grew up outside of Cleveland. My husband's from Dallas. I listened to a couple of the spaces where people were saying things like, "Oh, well, Black Americans, like we don't care about what's going on in other places." I don't think it's that we don't care. I think it's that we understand that other people's fights aren't our fights. That's not our business. Like I'm not going to inject myself into any type of reparations claim that people in another country are having. That's not any of my business. But somehow the opposite doesn't seem to happen. People come here and inject themselves in conversations that we're having, and it just feels like you don't really have a right to do that. I live in Crown Heights, Brooklyn, have a lot of friends, a lot of sorority sisters from the Caribbean. One of my homegirls from Haiti, she and I were talking about it. I had shared 1804 with her, and she totally understood. Like, and she, when she and I were discussing it, it was like, hey, if you all ever get into a reparations conversation with France, I can't jump in that conversation just because I'm Black. And
Right.
she totally understand that. Nobody else has a right to get in that conversation with France except those Haitian people.
Mm-hmm.
My other homegirls that are from like Jamaica, Trinidad, they didn't really get it. They were on some, well, hey, we're all Black and blah, blah, blah. And so I told him, I was like, look, if I retired tomorrow and I decided to go down to Kingston and open up a coconut stand, if y'all enter into a conversation of reparations with Great Britain, I can't jump in that conversation just because I'm Black and I happen to live there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't descend from there.
Yeah.
I descend from here. And the thing about it is I not only do Black Americans understand that, but I don't think people in those places would take too kindly to us doing that.
Absolutely.
Hence the whole CARICOM thing, right?
Yeah.
That we're not allowed to be involved in, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it's not that, hey, we don't love y'all, we don't want y'all, we're trying to be divisive. It's just reparations is for something that is very specific, that happened to a specific group of people in a specific place, this land. You speak a lot about going back to the 1870 census. I just wanted to share with the family some other tools that I use besides just that. I was able to take my father's lineage, I found all the way back to 1790 in Virginia. And I
Mm.
found my mother's all the way back to 1800. So I just wanted to share with the family, in addition to the census. Now, for full disclosure, my grandfather, my mom's dad, one of his younger brothers back in the 80s did a whole comprehensive family history on us. Our oldest aunt's living elder at the time, my great great grandmother was 104. She was born in the 1880s.
Yeah.
This was the 1980s. She was the one that was able to tell the family her parents were born in the 1850s and were slaves in Alabama. Lo and behold, I'm looking this up and kind of taking this on for my family, searching on Ancestry and searching the records, and she was absolutely correct. So don't, number one, we are an oral people.
Right.
Don't discount oral history, right? I know a lot of people seem to have a problem with you saying that some of us even were part of the Aboriginal people.
Right.
We've kind of, and I remember that thing with I don't know if it was that Skip Gates thing with Chris Rock, and he was like, "Oh, I thought in our family they said we were Native American," and it was like, "No, no, no, that's not true. That's an urban legend. All Black people say that." No, that's not an urban legend.
Right.
That's real oral history. You can't discount that,
Exactly.
right?
Skip the Gate. Skip the Truth Gates is man. We can get on him. That's another conversation. Skip.
But I do remember that episode that you were talking about where Chris Rock was like, "Oh, I always thought I was Native." He's like, "No, no, 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 you're not Native. That's just something Black people say."
Right.
Don't discount that. Also, I would look at birth certificates. Sometimes it's really, really hard when you're dealing with people who are born like the 1800s. A lot of our Black ancestors were born at home. Sometimes they may be off on the year they were born. But if you can find birth certificates, great. If not, if you found someone that was born in the 1800s but died in the 1900s, so that last century, 20th century, on their death certificate, it may list place of birth. Also,
Yeah.
marriage licenses. I found that in my family as well. One of my granddad's sisters, she got married really young, so their parents had to sign. On my great grandparents' thing, it asked for their place of birth, which was listed as Alabama. You can look at Civil War draft cards. You'll see, colored infantry, colored battalion, and then it had, side of the war, Union, a
Yeah.
place of birth, George. So you'll see that. You could see slave schedules. This was very interesting. I found the slave schedules are done by county, not city. A lot of the cities that we know now did not exist back then.
Yeah.
So it's done by county. So if you look up your family last name, like I did, okay, and my family happened to be from this particular side of my mom's family is from Wilcox County, Alabama, which is Camden. Back then, I have to look up Wilcox County. Camden, as the city that we know now, did not exist back then. So I was able, you can cross reference, okay, these are the slave schedules. If you see a plantation owner with your family name in that area, then yeah, you can logically deduce that you came from there. So it's intellectually dishonest when people act like it's such a insurmountable feat to find out who's FB and who's not. No, it isn't, because I found it, and I'm not a professional genealogist. I know you had a girl on the space the other day that said that, but I'm not a professional genealogist. I was able to find all this out with an ancestry.com account and some time on my hands.
Exactly.
So, so I just wanted to add that in addition to the census, I just wanted to add that for the family, some of the other tools that I use to go back even further.
Exactly. Thank you so much, beloved. Let me touch on that. And
Thanks to
absolutely, it is not that hard to find out your lineage. People try to make it seem like rocket science. Man, you can go to Ancestry, log on right now, and just look at some old census records. You'll find out if your family is on the damn 1870 census within an hour. And it's interesting when other people who are not FBA who try to tell us about our lineage. How the hell are you going to tell us what we are and what we're not? We know what our lineage is. We know where we go back to. And look, we've been on this land for centuries. All right. This is our land, ladies and gentlemen. It were black people who were brought over from Africa who were mixed in with the black Aboriginal people. And when people come in our spaces trying to tell us that we don't have Aboriginal ancestry and there were no black Aboriginals, these are people who are trolling. You understand? Nobody's going to tell us about our lineage. Like our sister said, we have oral traditions. We have grandmothers and grandfathers that we sat up and talked to, and they will tell you, listen, I lived in Alabama as a kid. Do y'all know how many full blooded black, jet black Native Americans that I saw growing up down in Alabama? Oh, you had old, elderly, black skinned people who were classified as Negro, but when you looked at their paperwork, they were actually full blooded Native Americans, all in Alabama. Even places like Tuscaloosa, which is right outside Birmingham, That's named after a black Native American. Tuscaloosa means black warrior. There were black Native Americans all through Alabama, all through Florida, all through Mississippi, all through Louisiana. Very well documented. And I've seen these people with my own eyes, black skinned Native Americans growing up as a kid, seeing old, elderly, black skinned Native American people. So I'm not going to have anybody from some other culture tell us what we didn't or did not see, did or did not see. Let's get some more people in here. We know our lineage. We know who we are. All right, let's get this person. Who is this person here? Mega Claricita. I think that's your name. Let's try you in here. Let's try you. And then we'll get some other people on. Meg Claricita, I think that's your name. Turn your microphone on and unmute your microphone if you can.
Thank you, thank you. I just happened across this room and I looked up your name and your book, and it's wow. This is really a different kind of angle. I'm really realizing the past few years that my education I thought was supposed to be fantastic, but I'm really missing a lot of history. I'm really missing a lot of the truth. And
Yeah.
you're what are some of the, I guess my question would be looking at your book, which
Mm,
by the way, I'm definitely getting. Um, what motivated you to write this book? And
okay.
what are maybe like one of the takeaways that you would want readers to have, please?
Okay, great, great. And by the way, Meg, where are you from, by the way?
LA.
Okay, you have an Irish accent sounding like. Where's your family from?
No. I went to school abroad.
Oh, okay. Now, where's your family from? Where did they immigrate from to the United States?
Oh, well, my father is a mutt from Eastern Europe and Asia. My
Okay,
mother is WASP, White Anglo-Saxon Protestant, came here 1630.
got got it. Okay, so yeah, so the book really is talking about my experience understanding racism growing up as a child, and I give my opinions about certain racial, societal politics and cultural norms that we see, so that people can understand how systematic racism works. Because systematic racism dominates every area of activity. It's a constant in our lives, but it's hidden in certain ways where it's disguised, where it doesn't look like it's there, but it's still there. It keeps popping up its head. So I just give the readers some of the tools to navigate and see where a lot of systematic racism is hidden in our society, and usually hidden in plain sight. So that's the best assessment I can give about it. I think if you read the book, you'll kind of get where I'm coming from.
Yeah, no, that definitely. I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking, okay, this is. Well, yes, I I know. I wish I could find more. Well, I'll search up online and maybe find some little bits and kind of be like, okay, get an idea of what.
Yeah,
Um,
thank you. Okay, all right. She's very jittery. Okay, all right. Just get the book, ma'am. Just get the book and read, ma'am. Okay, I don't know what you got going on. Okay, all right. She's very jittery. I hope she's not over there drinking coffee at the pipe or whatever. All right, what's up? We have Stuart McCann. Stuart McCann.
Well, actually, it's pronounced McCann.
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 There you go. How are
Um,
you, Stuart?
I'm really well. Thank you for letting me speak. I really do appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Just so that everyone who's listening knows, I do have an African heritage. You wouldn't know it by looking at me. But my grandmother was an eighth African. And I did go on Ancestry. My sister found someone who was related to my grandmother, who actually knew of the family. And this woman was of advanced years. She wouldn't tell us anything.
Wait, so your grandmother was African?
An eighth, yes.
She was part African. Small. Okay, small percentage of African. Got it.
Well,
Got it.
12%. Well, I don't know. I really don't want to put, labels on it at all. But again, she had an African heritage. You certainly couldn't talk to her about it because she was born around the turn of the century.
So she was passing for white.
Yes, sure.
Right. Okay.
The only thing that really gave her away was the texture of her hair.
Yeah.
Okay, that was it.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else, you know. Anyhow, have a daughter who's her mother is from China, Taiwan.
Okay.
My son-in-law is from Puerto Rico. Now, as you can see from my picture, my girlfriend is an African American.
Where's she from?
Where's she from? Maryland, I guess.
From she looks foreign. I'm looking at the picture, and she doesn't look FBA. She looks foreign.
Well, come on now. I mean, we all know that when you're looking at people from Africa, they all have different features. Now, a lot of people who are African Americans are descended from people from West Africa, right?
That's
By and large, right?
not really, but go
I'm
ahead.
just saying by and large. She's actually descended from
Okay.
people from Central Africa. All right.
Okay. Was she a descendant of slaves in America?
Well, probably, and I could be too, right? If you think about it,
Yeah, you could
I
be.
could very well be, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, the point I'm trying to make is that I've actually had to deal with issues of race with raising my daughter. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, personally, I really think that as a nation, we're all way too hung up on issues of race.
Why are we hung up on issues of race?
Well, because if you look at someone who, all right, so a lot of people, well, keep laughing all you want, Mike.
No, forget
All
about
right,
him. It's just talk. You forget
all right.
about him. Focus on.
Listen, I mean, what's African? What is black? Black really is someone who's not passing for white, right? And I know for a fact that if you really look at people who are quote unquote, they call themselves Black Americans. They're not 100% African.
Right.
All right.
That's why the term foundational Black American, because we have a distinct
Exactly.
lineage. Because everybody comes from Africa at one point, but we foundational Black Americans, we have a very unique lineage to this land.
Yes.
So right,
And I agree with you 100%. All right. We're
right,
in complete and total agreement.
right.
All right. But really, I think, my girlfriend, she's grew up in a rural America amongst a group of people that were predominantly white Americans. Both her
Okay.
parents have PhDs. She wound up being, she is very well spoken.
Mm-hmm.
And, she went to an historically black college,
Right.
Morgan State College, because she
Mm-hmm.
wanted to get in touch with her roots.
Okay.
The irony is, she was literally told that she wasn't black enough because she was well spoken.
Let's stop that lie. That's a lie that a lot of white supremacists like to promote.
No, no, no,
Oh, that
no.
stop,
She actually got
sir.
that from people who are at the college.
That's not what it is,
Yes,
sir.
it is. What is it?
Sir, are you saying that the black people at that HBCU were not well spoken?
Would you please give me the benefit of the doubt, Tariq?
But sir, if you're going to spew a falsehood that black people who are well spoken are looked as outliers of black society, that's just not true.
Please, Tariq. I'm not making this up. This is what
Yeah,
she told me. It's not
sir,
coming from me.
sir. The reason they didn't want to rock with her is because they probably thought she was a bedwench,
A
meaning
what?
that a bedwench, meaning a person who gets with white people like yourself who may or may be suspected of being a white supremacist and takes on that ideology and brings that ideology to black society. That's the problem they had with her. They probably thought she was a bedwench.
All right, you're making assumptions, Tariq.
I'm making what, sir?
Assumptions.
I am making an assumption. I'm not
You
saying
are making assumptions. And again,
for a
I
fact.
really think that even within white society and black society, we're all way too hung up on it. And we all make assumptions that
Why
aren't
shouldn't,
necessarily valid.
why shouldn't we be?
Why shouldn't we be?
Right.
Well, because a lot of the things that both sides assume just simply aren't true.
Let's go back. Let's go back. Again, let's unpack some of this stuff because I asked if your lady was a descendant of slaves in America, and you said you don't know. That means she's most likely not. You know whether or not you are a descendant of slaves in America. So sounds like your lady comes from an immigrant background.
No,
That's what
she
it sounds.
doesn't. She doesn't. I never asked her. And the reason why I never asked her is because I really don't feel that
So
it's all that
you
important.
know, if you didn't ask her, how do you know? And I,
Tariq,
and
that's
I'm
what I'm saying, is that you're making a whole.
Stewart. I'm looking at her picture. She doesn't look like a foundational Black American. I'm saying this from my observation as a full-blooded foundational Black American. Your lady doesn't look like she's a foundational Black American. Also, what makes me think she's not, the fact that she grew up the only Black family in a white neighborhood. That's usually not the case for foundational Black Americans.
Her
Usually,
family is from Baltimore.
uh-huh.
They moved to Maryland to get away from Baltimore. All right. She is herself. I literally gave her for a Christmas present a DNA test.
We're not talking DNA. Listen, DNA doesn't distinguish what ethnic group you're from.
Yes,
Okay?
it does.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. 100%.
No, it does
Yes,
not.
it does too.
It
Because
doesn't.
most of her blood comes from Central Africa,
A lot of people's blood comes from Central Africa.
and I've
Sir,
been to Central Africa.
sir,
And,
Stuart, slow down.
oh,
Sir, your DNA says you come from Africa too, doesn't it?
everyone's DNA comes from Africa. All
All right.
right.
You just repeated what I said, Stuart. All right, you're repeating what I'm saying, sir. So now we agree. Everybody's DNA comes from Africa, so that cannot differentiate between different tribes or ethnic groups. So it sounds like your lady is a non FBA person, okay? Because people who run around here talking about nobody wanted to rock with them because they were so articulate, foundational Black Americans usually don't talk like that.
You
We
know
don't
something? They do.
know
That
that.
actually
We don't.
happened to her throughout her upbringing, and
Okay.
she shared that with me.
Okay.
I'm not making this stuff up.
Stuart, slow down. You're talking to a foundational Black American. Most of us know how to speak articulately. A person talking articulately is not going to make us stay away from them. We have so many articulate foundational Black Americans. This whole narrative that we're talking some type of slave gibberish is rooted in white supremacist ideology, sir.
You know something? I don't buy that at all.
Okay.
I
Do
don't.
you Okay, do
I
you think
don't.
okay, so you're saying that most Black people are not articulate. Is that what you're saying, Stuart?
I'm not saying that at all.
Then what are you saying, Stuart?
You know something? I really suspect that because I'm a white man.
Oh Lord.
Oh Lord, do you too?
What is it, Stuart? I gotta hear this. What do I suspect, Stuart? Stewart, I'm going to ask you again. Do you think that most foundational Black Americans are not articulate?
Hell no, I don't.
Then why did you make a point to say that your lady went to an HBCU and Black people didn't rock with her because she was so articulate?
That was something that she brought up, not something that I brought up.
Okay.
All right. This is not something that I'm making up.
Okay, so what and the point of that is what? What's the point of that? Let's roll with your narrative.
I'm
They
just
didn't like
saying, I'm
articulate.
just saying that, as Americans, right, both, every race is way too hung up on the race. And really, the way that I feel is that we should be looking at each other as human
Okay,
beings,
okay,
people.
okay, let's slow down because I don't want to get into catchphrasism. I still want to get on this articulation thing. Let's roll with the articulation narrative. Let's just roll with it. Let's say a significant portion of Black Americans are just not as articulate as your lady. Let's roll with that. Why do you think that is?
I really don't know. All
Let
right. I really don't understand
Okay.
that at all. All right. Now, let me tell you something. I know a lot of people who are, as you would classify them as white Americans. And I really don't consider them all that articulate either.
I know,
All right.
but
So don't assume. All right. It seems like you're making assumptions here. That's the impression that I'm left.
Stuart, I'm just asking questions based on what you said, sir. I'm not, this is why I'm asking. I'm asking questions to get clarity. I'm not making assumptions. I'm asking
Okay.
questions. Everything has been a question. I have not accused or pointed my finger. I just want more clarity. This is why I asked. And you made
Okay.
And sir, you made a point. This was you. I didn't bring this up. You said that your lady went to an HBCU, and because she is so well spoken, the people look down upon her, meaning that the people looking down upon her were not well spoken. Okay?
Right. They asked why she didn't sound black.
Okay.
All right. Even in high school, when she went to a school that was more diverse, a lot of the students who were African American felt that she should automatically be associating with them. Why is she hanging out with people that are Caucasian?
Hmm.
And the reason is that she grew up with them.
Okay.
All right. So when I say that people are way too hung up on race, and I truly do say this,
So the black people are the ones who are hung up on race. Is that's what you're
no,
trying to
I,
say?
I'm just saying we're all hung up on race because as someone who has lived in white society my whole entire life, there
So
are
wait,
plenty.
Stuart. Are you trying to say that there is a comparative hanging up on race that black people have with white society because black people are victims of systematic white supremacy. How is that comparative to any type of black bigotry? Are you trying to say there is some form of black bigotry that's comparative to systematic global white supremacy?
No,
Okay.
not at all. And when
So,
I say that we're hung up on race, I actually do feel that people who are white are also hung up on race for whatever point of view that they may have. It's varied.
so why not you emphasize the violent, genocidal, systematic white supremacy that we are subjected to as black people instead of pointing the finger of comparative black bigotry at black folks at an HBCU who you said had a problem with your lady? because you made a point to emphasize them instead of the white supremacist dominated court system, the white supremacist
Okay, listen,
education
please
system.
stop. First
Stop.
off, I
Oh,
acknowledge all that.
you haven't, sir.
I will. I am. All
Okay.
right. And it's wrong.
Okay.
All right. What I'm saying is that amongst white society and black society, there's groupthink. And that's a problem.
Groupthink.
Yes, groupthink.
The only groupthink we have in black society is how do we stop being victimized by white supremacy? That's our groupthink, right?
So, okay, please explain to me white supremacy. In a lot of situations these days, you know, there's a lot of opportunities for you now.
Really?
Yeah.
Of course. Okay. What opportunities do we have that cannot be reversed and undermined by the white supremacists in 3 minutes flat? Name any opportunity that any black person has that will not or cannot be undermined by white supremacists at the drop of a hat. Name one.
All right. First off, you're making the assumption that I can snap my fingers and immediately everyone will have, everything will be okay. And you
Okay,
know what?
Stuart, let's try it again. You said everybody has opportunities. So I'm asking you, what opportunities do black people have that the white supremacists who run everything cannot destroy, undermine, or reverse at the snap of a finger? What are those opportunities?
Well, thank you, Tariq, for falling into my trap.
Oh,
The
you got
white supremacists who run everything.
it.
You certainly, why is it that makes you say that, Tariq? The white supremacists that run everything.
Because they said it.
Tariq, that's another thing too. I'd just like to dispel.
Okay.
First off, I don't wake up every morning thinking about how I can keep you down. And
You
a lot of other people who are white.
let me stop you right there. I don't think every
Stop
morning.
muting me.
Okay, but because I
You
want
don't
to,
let me finish.
I want to
Let me
unpack what you.
finish. Let me finish.
But we got to
Let me
unpack.
finish.
Hold on, Stuart. Slow down, Stuart. You're gonna get your time, but we're gonna have to unpack everything. We got to slow roast this thing. Let's take it slow, Stuart. I'm gonna let you talk. I want to unpack everything you're saying, Stuart. Now, let me touch on what you just said first, and I'm gonna let you speak. All right. You said you don't wake up every day thinking about how to keep us down. Sir, I don't wake up every day thinking about how to keep my food cold because I have a refrigerator set up that does it for me. So I don't have to think about it. It's on automatic pilot. And that's what systematic white supremacy is. The system is automatically designed to oppress us, so it's running on autopilot right now. But go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Oh, please, Tariq.
What?
You're right. There are
Mhm.
situations where there is institutional racism.
Okay.
All right. And
So,
I do understand that. And I understand that that does keep you down. All right. But yet, to come out and say that, you know, all whites or there's white supremacy in this nation, and it seems like you're implying that there's a quid pro quo amongst all of us that it's okay. It's not.
but if it's not okay, why haven't the non racist white people had the power to dismantle systematic white supremacy? Because white supremacy, the system of white supremacy, is the most dominating system. And no one is more powerful than the white people who believe in white supremacy. So the good white supremacists, so the good white people who don't believe in it, they're just not powerful enough to do anything. So we
I would say that it is due in part to awareness.
awareness. Oh, let me hear that.
Yes, awareness, right? And if you really think about it, if all people who are white thought exactly the same way, there wouldn't be the at least the progress in the United States that's occurred.
Progress like what? I gotta hear this.
You got to hear this.
I gotta hear it.
You got to hear it. You
What
got to hear
progress?
it.
How is there progressive racism? Because either it exists or it doesn't exist. So how do you have progressive racism?
You're putting words in my mouth,
I'm
Tariq.
not. I'm not.
Yes,
But
you
you
are.
and we're still under a system of racism and white supremacy. So what progress have we had?
You know something? My girlfriend was charged a higher mortgage rate because she was an African American. She is an African American.
Hmm.
And the government literally went through and went after the company that did that and wrote her a letter and told her that she was discriminated against. And she has the letter.
And
Now
that
you can't now you can't tell me that every single person that was involved in that was a black, an African American.
okay. So they acknowledged that she was discriminated against. Did they compensate her for it?
They did.
How?
It's a class action lawsuit.
So a lawsuit that's going to benefit a white law firm.
You know something? You're making the assumption that it's a
That's
that's
what,
making the money.
sir. That's what class action suits are basically designed for. It's going
Oh,
to,
come on now.
sir,
You, sir, are
Stewart. A class action lawsuit is not racial progress, sir. Where somebody might get awarded $3, and you're saying that a class action lawsuit where a gazillion people are part of a class action
you're
that's going to
muting me.
be awesome.
You're muting me. You're actually
Sir.
muting me
I did.
because you don't want me to speak.
No, sir, but you
Yes,
get
you are.
no, sir, but
Yes, you are. You're
I want
muting me because you don't want me to speak.
repeating what you're saying, sir. You're saying that a class action lawsuit that involves a lot of people, where a law firm, a white law firm, is going to benefit
You're making the assumption
is
that
racial.
it's a white law firm. And
Yeah,
you're also making the assumption, it seems, that every person that's working for that law firm is white and is benefiting from, racism.
because most likely it is.
No, it isn't. You, sir, are just as racist as anyone I've ever met.
How so?
Because, you know something, you're not thinking things through at all.
How am I oppressing anybody, sir? By asking questions. I'm just asking you questions, and you're saying
You know something, no matter how many times I give you an explanation, you at least are not in any way acknowledging my opinion or how I feel.
acknowledging it, and I'm asking questions, sir. You're telling me that a class action lawsuit is racial progress, and I'm asking you, are you serious?
So I'm asking you, all right, Tariq, what do you suggest?
Sir, I suggest compensation to the aggrieved people, particularly foundational Black Americans.
And they did receive compensation. Maybe not as much compensation as you would like them to have.
Sir, I'm not talking about a bogus class action suit where nobody's going to really get any money. That's not.
Dude, if you really want to talk about it,
That's not real, sir.
I'm actually descended from slaves myself.
My God,
So if you want to talk about
Lord,
compensation, all right, I should be entitled to exactly the same compensation that you're getting.
No, let me tell you.
No, because you're looking at me and you're saying I'm a white American,
Okay, and hold on one second.
right?
Wait,
And because of that, you're
and
saying I'm entitled to nothing.
hold on, and let me
Oh,
talk.
hold on.
Hold on, listen, hold on.
Hold on. All right. I'm listening to you.
All right, now, family in the room. This is why we set up the reparations claim and the terminology a certain way for this reason right here. I've been telling people this is what's going to happen if we keep playing these wrong word games. We're going to have folks like Stewart pop up saying that, hey, I'm a descendant of slaves too. You
Oh,
understand?
please. Oh, please.
I've been,
Excuse me.
I've been warning
Ex-
people,
excuse
sir,
me.
sir, and this,
Sir,
sir, Stewart,
sir,
calm down, Stewart.
sir.
I've been telling people this is why, in order to get a reparations claim, a person has to be classified as black for at least 10 years, and they should be able to trace their lineage back to black ancestors who were enslaved. That's why it's important to do it like that, for this very reason.
I see. All
Got it.
right.
So you
Yeah.
have been classified as black for the last 10 years. This is why we put these caveats on there. So you have not been classified as black. So people who are white cannot jump back and say, "Hey, I was on a plantation. My great great grandmother, my slave owner dad raped Sally Hemings, so I need a compensate." No, 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 no. This is why we have to do it a certain way, sir, so that we won't get these type of janky deals going on. But let's move on, sir. And I'm trying to get clarity with you. You
All
said
right. Thank you. I appreciate that you are explaining your position. And I am really do appreciate that you're not muting me anymore.
right, right. But when I want you to bring something back, that's when I'll mute. So just so you can bring it back so we don't get too far out of the woods, because when you say something, I want you to elaborate on it. I want to get deep into it. So
I
this
see. I
right,
see.
right,
Right. I'm really kind of curious with you too, with your opinions and where they came from.
right. Well, I'm a victim of white supremacy, and my thing is trying to figure out how to replace the system of white supremacy with the system of justice. That's what I want to do.
And you know something? I'm with you.
All right.
But please explain, how do you consider yourself in terms of your class? You said you wrote a book.
Uh-huh.
All right. So clearly, I'm guessing that you must be well educated.
Actually, I'm not. I'm a high school dropout. I dropped out of high school in the 11th grade, moved to Los
Okay.
Angeles, became a street hustler. Then I educated myself. I went to the library, started reading a lot of books. While I was a hustler, I would travel the world, and I went to libraries all around the world and
So you're
learned.
like Malcolm X then.
Yeah, to a certain degree, like the Black Panthers, Malcolm X, Huey P. Newton, a lot of those guys, man. A lot of um, people who were in the Black Power movement, man, they started off on the grassroots, and they got the support of the people. They understood the street lexicon. They understood dealing with people on the grassroots, and they learned how to deal with people in the intellectual circles. And
So
you know,
Tariq, let me ask you a question here.
yes, sir. Yes.
So what is it? All right. As someone who is, you're looking at me
Yeah.
and you're identifying me as white.
You identify yourself as white.
All right. You're identifying me too as white.
Right.
All right. I was actually raised in that, right? It wasn't as if that was something that I had chosen.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay.
Just like you are identifying yourself as a foundational Black American.
Right.
All right. You were raised in that
Mm-hmm.
and you're acting as if that's something that you've chosen. It's not. It's something that you were raised in.
I agree with you. I was
Okay.
Foundation Black America. I didn't choose it.
So, all
I
right.
just the name, but the lineage. I was raised in it. You can't choose a lineage. But go ahead.
So, all right. As someone who's listening here with an open mind, what is it that someone like me can do to make your situation better?
Great question. What you can do is let us know what the white supremacists are saying and doing when we're not around.
Oh, good Lord. You're again making an assumption that in some way or another, that because I was raised as someone as a white American that I know people who are white supremacists, and we're having meetings behind closed doors to keep you down.
Sir, you're talking about white extremist groups. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the everyday average white supremacist, especially
Please
people.
explain what that is.
A white supremacist is anybody with speech, thought, and action feel that they should be in a dominating, superior position over black people. And that doesn't mean Richard Spencer or David Duke. That's your librarian, that's your school teacher, that's your police sheriff.
Please.
That's
I
what a
can
white.
tell you that people who are white, we don't wake up in the morning looking in the mirror and thinking that we're white, and we're not having discussions about how to keep you down.
White supremacists do. Yes, they do.
So, please explain. A white supremacist. So,
Sir,
am I a white supremacist?
I don't know. I
You
don't,
don't know.
I don't know. I really don't
You
know.
seem like, all right, that's the other thing, too, that I've really found about people who are African American,
Mm-hmm.
that they really are quite hung up on being African Americans, being black in America. And I can certainly
Hung
can
up on
tell
it.
you,
How are you hung up on being a black American? How are you hung up on that?
I'm not hung up on it.
No,
I'm saying that you are.
how are we hung up on it? What do you mean? Please explain that.
Listen, this whole discussion, are people confused about racism? To me, and most of the people in this room are African American, says something to me. The culture, expecting people to actually have certain interests and vote a certain way because they have an African heritage. I'm not saying that you do, Tariq.
You're losing me. I'm kind of lost, sir. Yeah, I'm a little confused. I don't want to be confused.
I'm really lost too.
Okay,
I
let's bring it
really
back.
am truly
Yeah,
lost. So please
following.
explain white
Okay, bring it.
supremacy.
Okay, hold on. No, no, no. Let's bring it back. You said we're hung up on being black Americans. What does that mean?
I would say that in certain cases, not all, right, that there are people who literally are just talk about being, African and are hung up on this colorism. There's all sorts of things that happen within the
You
African American
gotta
community.
bring. Okay, Stuart. You got to be clear. I'm still not. I think you're trying to word your ideology. Just say what you mean. I think you're trying to politically correct your ideology. What should black people identify as, in your opinion?
Whatever they want,
Okay.
whatever they want.
Why did you say we're hung up on being black American? I just don't know what you mean by that.
I've actually seen, I'm talking from the perspective of other people that are African American and don't necessarily feel that they fit in. There is, at least from what my girlfriend has told me, Black thought, there is an expectation that people have that you act a certain way and have certain beliefs.
Such as what? What did she tell you? What are these beliefs that she and other black people are expected to have? What did she tell you?
Look, I realize that I'm generalizing. I am. All
That's okay.
right.
But just what did she tell you? We're just trying to get what you've been told, so we
So,
can
for example, her
go ahead.
father was an opera singer.
Okay.
All right. Because her father was an opera singer, people within her own community were giving her father a difficult time about being an opera singer. All right, because someone who is of African American descent shouldn't have an interest in that. All right. That's what she told me. Those are the words that came out of her mouth, not my mouth.
Okay.
So the other thing that I would really like to hear here, Tariq, is please
So
explain to me about
you
white
here?
supremacy. Please.
Hello?
I'm still there.
Hello?
Please explain to me about white supremacy. What is
Okay.
it here?
But look, we gotta let me back it up for 1 second about the opera singer thing, because there's so many foundational Black American opera singers that we've had. Paul Robeson, one of the most well-respected foundational Black Americans, he was an opera singer. So we've always revered our Black opera singers. There's so many. Marian Anderson. I could.
I am well aware of it, and I am a fan of Miriam Anderson. I
Okay,
think she has one of the most beautiful voices that I have ever heard.
right. So
All right. So I'm just saying, I'm not saying everyone who's an African American or a foundational Black American or however it is you prefer to identify yourself is has the same opinion. That's for me to say that is not fair to
okay.
everyone who's listening here.
But let's go home 1 second about your lady. Your lady seems to have a lot of anti-foundational Black American views herself.
All
Why do you
right.
think that is?
I really can't explain that. I can't speak for her. But I would really, Tariq, ask you, you're talking about white supremacy left and right.
Uh-huh.
All right. So please
Right.
explain that to me.
Okay.
So please, I'm all ears.
Okay. Systematic white supremacy dominates all areas of activity. There's 9 areas of activity: labor, education, entertainment, sports, medical, sex, war, and I forgot the other one, but all areas is dominated by systematic white supremacy, and that is by design. And we are victims of white supremacy. We have not figured out how to replace that system with the system of justice. And it was a proactive system that they designed using the word white supremacy. That's not my word. That word comes from the dominant society. They spent years ingraining the word white supremacy into the public lexicon. In the education systems, they were using the words white supremacy. Supreme Court rulings, especially the Dred Scott decision, they keep using the term white supremacy, black inferiority. All of the forefathers, almost all of them, use the words white supremacy. All of the statues, these Confederate statues around the country, were built in honor of people who use the words white supremacy. So, white supremacy, again, by their own admission, by the cultural significance, they've dominated all areas of, of activity. So that's not something that we've made up. They have went out of their way to let us
All
know,
right. So
dominated by white supremacy.
here's the thing.
Let us know the thing.
Here's the thing.
Okay.
All right. You are just I'm well aware of the history of our nation.
Uh-huh.
All right. And I've actually gone as far as to literally dig into the history from an African American perspective.
Oh,
I do understand that Abraham Lincoln, for example, is not the person that a lot of people revere for ending slavery.
hello.
Hello,
There you go. I didn't do anything, but go ahead.
hello. All right. The Civil
Hello,
War
Stuart.
actually started between
Stuart,
states' rights.
something's going.
Abraham Lincoln actually said was a moderate in his own party. And he was actually said that the way that someone who's African is equal to me is the sense that they toil to survive. He also said that he believed that Black people should be free Slaves should be free, but they should be free to live in their own colony and not in the United States. All right? That is an historical fact.
Abraham Lincoln also said he thought that black people were inferior, and he said that if he was going to assign superiority to a race, that was going to be to the white race.
And you know what? I'm not surprised.
Okay.
Based on his own history, I'm not surprised.
Okay, so you're making it seem like he was talking as if he was some great equalizer, and he was not.
No, I'm actually talking that he wasn't.
Okay.
All right, so I'm saying that if he's saying African slaves should be free, but they shouldn't be part of America, they should go someplace else.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that means that he didn't want the slaves around.
Right.
Yeah, so that's what I said. We're in agreement here.
Okay. And the
So
point.
why is it?
Go ahead.
All right. So I do understand the history of this nation. I do view, for example, the expansion westward and taking the land away from, the first peoples as genocide.
Okay.
And it is genocide. They don't necessarily acknowledge that in the history books as genocide, but they do. It is. I don't know what else to call it. All
Okay.
right. But, and I do understand that because of our history, for you as African Americans, things are not set up in your favor.
Mm.
I understand it. And I'm not disagreeing at all.
Okay.
But to make it seem as if, we as white Americans are, in one way or another, trying to hold you down now, that is not the case. If anything, I can tell you, I would like to see equality, 100% equality in this nation. I would like to see everyone be able to move forward in their lives, live a good life, and prosper.
Okay. Now you said you just acknowledged that, and you tried to put it in the past that, yeah, there was racism in the past, but white supremacist society is not trying to hold us down now. How do you set up a system of oppression and let that system work on autopilot and then claim that you're not trying to oppress the people that you set the system up to oppress? How does that work? You just acknowledged that you set the system up. The system of anti-black oppression was never dismantled.
Please, you're
When,
saying
when,
you
I'm talking about
as
us.
if you're actually lumping me with them. All right, please don't.
Okay. When I say you said, well, we're not oppressing. Well, the white supremacists are. And again, I don't know if you're a white supremacist or not. I'm not saying you are. I'm suspecting you could.
Please.
I'm suspecting.
I'm not, something?
I'm not
What
saying
is
you
this
are.
with white supremacist?
Okay, somebody, Stuart, has to be a white supremacist. Not saying you are. I'm not saying you are.
Somebody, okay, finally, an acknowledgement that I'm not.
I don't know if you're not. I suspect you could be, but I'm not saying you are.
You're making the assumption, suspecting that I am,
No,
is
it's not.
making,
That's I'm
yes, it is.
suspicion.
Yes, it is.
That's a
Yes, it
suspicion,
is. Yes,
sir.
it
If
is.
somebody goes to court and
Yes,
they're
you are. You're
suspicious.
claiming that I'm.
Wait. If a person goes into a courtroom and they're a suspect, that's not an assumption. You're sitting that person down, the suspect down, so that you can get to clarity. So you can
Oh,
make sure.
please.
So
You're
you can.
muting me again. Thank
But
you.
I want you to hear me. I'm letting you talk, but I want you to hear me. We got to get clarity. Now, when did the system of white supremacy and anti-black oppression get reversed? When did this happen?
I'm not saying that it has.
Okay, so we are still under a system of white supremacy, sir, correct?
You know something? You're not the only ethnic group in
Oh,
this nation that's oppressed.
oh Lord, all oppression matters. Are you doing the all oppression matters? The oppression Olympics? Are you doing that, Stuart?
Oh, please stop it.
Stewart,
I'm just
what
pointing something
Stewart,
out to you that's the
what
truth.
Stewart, what of the group was Jim Crowed and enslaved in this country?
Like I said, I'm well aware of
Stewart,
the history in this country. But people who are Asian American, they were discriminated against too.
stop it.
We're talking about in the 1800s. We're not talking about now.
Sir,
We're talking about the 1800s.
sir, they
Sir,
came over later and got jobs when the country was already built. Sir, are you trying to? And let me tell you
all
something.
right.
And there were Asian slave owners, okay? In North Carolina, some of the Asians came over and they were enslaving black people too. They got right with the white supremacists and got on the anti black train. Some of these Asians came over here and fought to not have to go to school with the Negroes. They fought to say, hey, we want to be white just like you all. Okay? If we really want to go there into the history, sir.
Excuse me, so did my grandmother.
So did your grandmother do? What did your grandmother do? Oh, the one who was passing for white? Okay.
Yes, the one that was passing for white.
Right. And she,
Yes.
okay.
All right. Listen, I understand that the system is not in your favor. I agree with that 100%, Tariq.
It's not only not in our favor, it's deliberately designed to not favor us. It's not something that accidentally happened. You're saying, Stuart, as if it was some kind of accident. That's how
It's not.
somebody designed that system, Stuart.
It's not.
Okay. So let's
I
not talk.
understand that.
Okay. So
But
some
I'm
behind
just
it
asking, all right, how are we going to change it?
by being honest about it, Stuart.
And I am.
You're not quite, Stuart. You're saying that we're putting too much on it, and you're saying, well, what about other people? All oppression matters. That's dismissive, sir. That's dismissing the anti-black culture of white supremacy that dominates this country. Right?
You're calling it white supremacy.
That's what they called it, Stuart. They
Yes, that they may have called it that, but I'm telling you, at least as someone who is identifying as a white American, I'm
uh,
not wasn't aware of it.
who
Uh,
wasn't aware of it?
Me,
Yeah, okay.
I'm not, and it's not right. And I'd like to see it changed.
So why are you not going out there changing it, Stuart?
I'm doing what I can
Do you
as a person.
okay? Do you think changing it is having sexual relations with black women? Do you think that's your form of social justice?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Because a lot of times when people are in these interracial relationships, they think just their presence with a black person in a sexual position is some type of sexual equality or social equality. And that's not the case.
Oh, good Lord. Again, you know what? I appreciate that you allowed me to speak.
Okay.
I really do.
Okay.
But you know what? I really do feel that because I identify as a white male,
Hmm.
you're making assumptions about me.
What assumptions do you think I'm making about you, Stuart?
Just the whole way that you've been speaking to me all along.
Stuart, I've been so extra polite. I've let you speak. I've not accused you of anything. Haven't I been very polite with you, Stuart?
You know what? I want to do everything that I can as a fellow American to help you out.
Hmm.
I just want to say that.
Okay.
All right. Yet,
Okay.
every time I've opened my mouth, you've challenged me, which is fair.
Right. But when I just want clarity, when you'll say something, and then I'll ask you to elaborate to give us more clarity. It's all about clarity, not even a challenge, just clarity. I just want clarity.
And you know something? I've done my best to give it to you.
There we go. Right. All right. Well, thank you so much, Stuart. I appreciate your call. All right. Okay. The topic, ladies and gentlemen, are people confused about racism? No, they're not confused. That was a master class of false confusion. Stuart is not confused about racism. And again, I let him speak and I was very polite. So y'all can hear for yourselves a lot of the deception that goes on. Now, first of all, his lady's not an FBA. I can tell that's not an FBA lady. That's why she has all of this kind of vitriolic um, narratives towards foundational Black Americans. All of these stereotypical, if I talk articulate, other Black folks don't like me. We don't, foundational Black Americans don't go around talking that. And just the fact that she would get with him with those ideologies, that shows she's not FBA. You understand? That right there. And also, I wanted y'all to catch the reason why, ladies and gentlemen, this is why it is so important to use the terms foundational Black Americans, because it cannot be remixed. They can remix all that other stuff, ladies and gentlemen. This is why we, as foundational Black Americans, never use the term African American. We do not use the term African American. That has been a trick bag term ever since it was introduced by Jesse Jackson in 1984. That right there is why. This is a master class on why. Because when we're talking about compensation and reparations, Mr. Stewart, who was a white man, he immediately said, well, hey, I can trace my lineage back to slavery. I got some African in me, you see. That's why even descendants of slavery, we got to watch that term. That's why that ADOS thing don't work, because they can get that too. They can remix that. A white person can say they're a descendant of slavery, just like he tried to do. These terms matter. This is why we got to Trump type these terms. He said, I'm a descendant of slavery too, which technically, yeah, he could go there. But when you say, hey, I'm a foundational Black American, they can't remix that. That's a very distinct term going to the founding of this country and your current status as a Black person. So that just covers everything. That's why so many people get mad at the term FBA. They get mad at the term Foundational Black American because it's a locked term. Nobody can bite off of it. You can't eat off of it. You can't remix it. That's why people have a problem with it. You can't finesse that term. With African American, Charlize Theron is African American. Elon Musk is African American. Our brother Claude Anderson, there's a clip of him talking about how dangerous the term African American is. I got to find that clip. But this is why, ladies and gentlemen, it's important to use the term foundational Black American. Very important, so that people won't remix stuff. But that was a very interesting conversation. Very interesting conversation, ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad y'all had a chance to listen to that. Very, very interesting. All right, let's get some more people on here. Hold on one second. I'm looking at a bunch of stuff. Let's get a bunch of people on here. Let's get some more people here. And by the way, y'all can get my book, Foundational Black American Race Beta, at Amazon.com. Get my book, Foundational Black American Race Beta, at Amazon.com, ladies and gentlemen. Amazon.com. Oh, let me play this clip of Dr. Anderson real quick. Let me play this audio clip of him explaining why we should not use the term African American. This is him, Dr. Claude Anderson, when he was on the Breakfast Club. I want y'all to listen to this real quickly. Listen, hold on. 64 white Indian chiefs that come to the White House, give them everything they want. Is that why you use the term Native blacks as opposed to African American? That's right, Native blacks. And I want to help all blacks on the earth. But if you don't use the word Native blacks, you shoot yourself in the head. Gotcha. Because if you say African American, the first human beings came out of Africa. Anybody on earth that comes to America is an African American. You can be white and come from Europe tomorrow. You're an African American. That makes total sense. And that's the first thing that hurts. So you can't. That's a very, very broad term. Who's an African American? Anybody can be an African American. Okay. Secondly, why is Native American important? Because this nation owes black folk. 98% of all the black people in America were here before 98% of all the other people ever arrived. Mm. Those native blacks, and the reason I say native because they took them out of Africa, they stripped them of their Africanness. They took away their names, everything, their culture, their history. Then they have a seasoning process for a slave. 3 months was to break him in to being a slave. That he could no longer be identified with African anything. That he was just black, period. But see, and so the government right now owes black people, native blacks. They don't know African. They don't know African anything. If you say you're an African American, whites say, "Shoot, I don't know. We never enslaved in Africa. We enslaved some blacks. We got in here, but they weren't Africans. We stripped them of an Africanness." Mm-hmm. And the last thing, your blackness is your honor, your culture, your history. That's right. There you go. That's from the master. That's where I got the game from, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Claude Anderson, he's been using that term Native Black Americans for a long time. This is one of my mentors. You see, I tell you who I get the game from. See, I'm not like some certain groups that'll take some from somebody and then act like they came up with it. The term foundational Black American, I got it from Dr. Anderson. And the reason why I put the foundation on it, because I thought that would flow better. Because sometimes I used to use the term Native Black American, but a lot of times people would still get a little confused. You mean Native American? You mean Native Americans who were black? So sometimes people would still get confused over the term Native Black American. They would think, okay, an Indian that was mixed with a black. So I said, what will flow better and make more sense, just to add on to our brother Claude Anderson's narrative, is to use the word foundational Black American, meaning the Black people who built this nation, who are Black and who are here in America. So that made more sense to me. And that name has stuck. And that's why nobody can really remix it. So I got the game from Dr. Claude Anderson, letting us know why the term African American, we have to drop that term, because that was a finesse that was put on us. Now that's not us disassociating ourselves from our African brothers and sisters. We're still family. Let's be very clear. I'm not one of these people to say that we still have no relation with African or Caribbean people. We do. These are our African and Caribbean cousins. They're still family. We're still a global Black family. But when we talk about our socio-political and cultural lineage, we have a distinct lineage just like Jamaicans do. Jamaicans have a distinct culture and lineage. Haitians have a distinct culture and lineage. Ghanaians have a distinct culture and lineage. Other groups have distinct cultures and lineages. And so do we, as foundational Black Americans. So there should be no confusion. And again, people trying to create false narratives around it. And that's another reason why a lot of people try to create these straw man arguments, because they can't remix the term foundational Black American. And because they can't remix it, they create these false straw man arguments. Well, y'all just being divisive. Well, y'all sound like y'all xenophobic. And these are just straw mans that they create out of frustration because they can't remix the lineage now. We've locked that lineage up. We've locked our culture and we're gatekeeping our culture, which is okay. We should be doing that because it is our culture. Because what we've been doing is opening up our culture to so many different groups to the point where they say, well, you ain't got no culture. You got your culture from us. We got to that point. So now we got to reset everything and just bring clarity to everything at this point. And I'm trending again. Shout out to Twitter. I'm trending on Twitter right now. We are trending on Twitter right now. So shout out to the new people that's coming in. Let me get my sister FBA Goddess in here. I see you, beloved. Let's get FBA Goddess in here so she can speak some truth to power. FBA Goddess, where you at, beloved?
Um, Me again.
Turn your microphone on. I see it's on, but can you speak,
Can you
dear?
hear me?
I can hear you now. How are you,
I'm
dear?
fine. How are you doing today or tonight?
I'm good.
This
What's on
morning.
your mind?
I was just listening to that mess that you were just talking to, and I was just getting all appalled because he had a nerve. The whole white man said that he was descendant. He's a descendant of a slave. What the fuck?
Exactly.
Okay, sir.
Exactly.
And then when you were talking to him, I was looking at that picture of that woman that he said that was his wife at first. Then she came to his girlfriend. She had on crunchy wig, so that is not African. Well, he kept saying African American. I just posted on my timeline. I'm not no damn African American. I am Black. I'm a Black woman.
Yeah. Yeah.
I posted on
Yeah.
my timeline. If you want somebody that's African
Yeah.
American,
She ain't FB.
go call Jesse because I'm not African American. I'm Black.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, ma'am. All right. Thank you so much, beloved. All right. Yeah, Stuart. He act like he tell me he don't know where his lady is from. He know good and well that is not an FBA. That's not an FBA woman. That is not an FBA at all. At all. All right. Let's get a couple of more calls in here. Y'all raise your hand. You want to get on? Your microphone ready? Raise your hand. And by the way, the book Foundation of Black American Race Baiter, available right now at Amazon, best-selling book. Let's see who we got here. Raise your hand if you want to get on. Let's get who is this brother here? Let's get TL Powell. TL Powell in, and then we'll get let me get TL Powell in first, and then Jean Gray. We'll get Jean Gray next, but let's get TL Powell. TL
How
Powell,
you doing,
turn
Tariq?
your microphone on,
What's
sir.
going on, sir?
Hey, how are you,
Brother,
brother?
I am doing excellent. First time talking to you ever. Been listening to you for a while. Man, that discussion that you had, I love it when they do that deniability. It's like, oh, well, this is that and that is this is right. He knew what the hell he was talking about, but he was giving up half truth. And it's just crazy. It really is. It's crazy. And I deal with it a
Yeah.
lot, especially myself coming from Philadelphia. Now I'm in NC. I get a lot of it. You know, they just deal with you, but then they don't deal with you. They give you that friendly vibe, but then they's like, "Oh, keep you at arm's length." You know, they try to hide it so well, but I see right through it. You know, it's amazing, man. But thank you, brother, for everything that you're doing. I got your book. I'm still reading your book again. And I'm enjoying the book and everything that you're saying in the book. I've experienced a lot of it being on this planet for many, many years, you know. So thanks again, brother, and you have a good night. God bless you, man.
Thank you so much, brother. And Stuart, let me tell you something. You go to Stuart's page. If you go to Stuart's page, he has a lot of like half naked black women on there. So Stuart has like a black woman fetish. There's like a bunch of like black woman porn on his page. So you know how that goes. Stuart got a lot of naked black women on his page. So he fetishizes black women. So he got a whole little plantation thing going on that page. All right. Jean Gray, pop on in here.
Hi, thank you. Sorry, my heart is racing. This is probably the biggest room ever. So I'm a
Hell
little
yeah.
bit like, whew. Okay. I'm gonna ask you a couple of things. So don't take offense of anything I say. I'm just very blunt.
Okay.
Um,
Now, first of all, Gene, now where are you from? First of all.
I am South American.
Okay.
I won't say exactly where. I don't want
Now,
to
why
dox
not? Why
myself.
not? Well, no, you're not gonna doc. Now, what part of South?
Um, um,
Brazil, Colombia,
Actually, yeah, the second one. That's
Colombia.
me.
Okay, I
Yeah.
can tell by the name.
So
Okay.
yeah, in our country, I don't know if you've heard of like the different type of like demographics that we have. It's incredibly diverse.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
But y'all got a lot of the black people on the other side of the country, though. I know that.
yeah, the Cartagena and Santa Marta.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my, yeah, like that's like, yeah, we do have like regions that have such diversity. The
Mm-hmm.
coast is usually very strong black community.
Yeah. I've been
Um,
there. I've been there before. I've been
yeah,
there.
it's
Mm-hmm.
beautiful, and then we have like
Yes.
strong indigenous community like in various areas. But my question is, isn't isn't using sort of the differentiation
Okay. Your
between
phone is kind of
foundational.
this. Your phone is going in and out.
Sorry about that. Is it
Okay. Your phone
better?
is
Is
going
it
in.
better now?
It's better.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Go
okay.
ahead.
Perfect. Okay. Isn't using foundational Black American and sort of creating cleavages within, I'm gonna be blunt and say within the Black community in the United States further exacerbates racism?
How so?
Well, because you used a very interesting word. You said we don't want to open up our culture to so many different groups and we want to gatekeep. Isn't that somehow really similar to the way white supremacy has kind of gatekept access to certain things? And isn't that also
No.
a propensity to create racism within a group that, because of the physical appearance of, you know, what people assume, like for instance, when I look at communities of white people, I don't know where the heck they all come from. I just kind of like categorize them all the same. Same thing with Latin American
Mm-hmm.
people, same thing with black communities, same thing with indigenous, right? So we kind of place everyone, okay, we say, oh, Latin American people are all like their experiences within a certain larger collective community are going to be relatively the same because of the way people are externally validating that presence. So when you say foundational Black Americans, and you made fun of that gentleman that came in and his girlfriend, I just kind of caught on to like that last part. You're essentially creating racism
Okay. Oh,
also
you're
within
breaking
your
up, man. Go ahead.
community. Sorry. You're also essentially creating racialized types of gatekeeping within your own community. I mean, isn't that like, that's why I'm confused about racism, because you are, if you go on and make fun of like other Black community members because they're not foundational Black Americans, but maybe they came from Africa, they came
Stop.
from
Stop.
like.
Stop. Nope. Wait. Let's stop. Because you say making fun of. Who are we making fun of? To stop there, because you're saying stuff now. Yeah, this is what I do. If you say something, you got to stand on it. All right. We don't let people say stuff and then just kind of run. Okay. You drop something off, you're gonna have to pick it up. Now, who are we making fun of? Turn your microphone
Oh
on,
my
Gene.
God, sorry. I was talking
Okay.
to myself.
Yeah. You're
Okay.
kind of rambling. That's why I
Yeah,
had to
yeah,
mute
yeah,
a
yeah.
little bit.
So
Okay. So
what I'm trying to
who are we
say
making
is,
fun of?
isn't the
Hold
use of
on. Hold on.
foundation.
Wait. Gene, over here. Turn your microphone on and wait. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Over here, your words have to be right and exact. If you say something, you're going to have to elaborate on it. You just can't say something that's false and then
Okay.
run.
Okay.
You
Okay.
said we're making fun of Black people. Who are we making? Who did we make fun of?
The lady that was with that guy, I caught like the last couple of minutes, but there was like poking at the lady, at the woman's sort of like identity. Like there's a lot of
Okay.
identity politics
Okay.
creates
Okay.
cleavages.
Okay. Listen. Did you listen to the conversation? That woman, who's clearly not FBA, her ideology about foundational Black Americans are negative. Did you
But
hear that part of the conversation?
no, I heard your
Which,
interpretation of it, but I was
okay,
wondering why
so wait,
she's
so wait, okay, so you agree with Stewart then, if it's my interpretation. Do you believe that Black people don't talk in an articulate way? Because this is what Stewart and his lady was saying.
No,
Do
I
you
did not
believe
say
that?
that. I did not say that. I'm
I'm
just saying the
asking. I'm
use of
okay. No, 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 ma'am.
FBA versus Black or African.
Ma'am, Jean, you said my interpretation as if I'm incorrect. So I'm asking you. I'm going to ask you again. Stewart and his lady. They said that Black people are not articulate. Basically, do you agree with that assessment?
No, I don't, because you're very articulate.
Okay. So this is not my interpretation then.
No, no, I wasn't referring to that. I was referring to the actual term of foundational Black American versus African American.
Right. Okay. Because we're not African. We don't live in Africa.
I
We live
I
in America
completely
and we
I
built this
completely
country.
understand.
So that's why
But
we use the term foundational Black Americans.
okay,
Jane, why don't you use the term
wait.
African Colombian?
One second, one
Because
second.
Colombia was a slave colony full of African Black people,
Yes.
right?
We have like different kind of the
Okay, your phone, your phone,
sorry,
your
I
phone.
know. No, no, that was actually just me. I'm trying to articulate what I want to say because I'm still
Okay,
translating in my head.
okay, okay.
I
Let me ask you again.
am
Okay,
I'm
let me.
trying to say that I think when we start sort of creating cleavages, even within.
Okay, let's. This is not how this works, Gene. When I ask a question, you don't go into a whole monologue. This is not the monologue hour. If you say something, Gene, you're going to have to stand on what you say. You said creating different ethnic groups creates a cleavage. Are you a Colombian? Do y'all create a cleavage by not calling yourself African Colombian?
What?
Colombia
Yeah.
was an African slave colony full of African people at one point. Okay.
Yes.
Why don't the people call themselves African Colombians? They just call themselves Colombians. Why?
Because we don't have these types of divisive categories in Colombia.
You do have those.
Mm,
There are white skinned Colombians and black skinned Colombians, but everybody calls themselves Colombians.
yeah, because okay, within the country, if you go inside the country, the identification is different versus when you leave the country, the identification becomes another thing.
But everybody calls themselves Colombian. Okay.
Well,
So,
in Colombia, if you're from the coast, you call themselves costeños.
okay.
If
You
you're
know what?
from the indigenous places, you call themselves indígena. Like people identify and like
But notice nobody calls themselves African Colombians. Nobody. Not one person over there calls themselves African Colombians. So
completely
why should
understandable. Yeah.
right? So with that logic, why should we call ourselves African American?
So what do you call the people that come from, let's say, Ethiopia and migrate to the United States?
Ethiopian Americans.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay. So I'm just I'm trying to understand when you were discussing sort of that gatekeeping aspect. What were you referring to?
Gatekeeping meaning
Yeah.
we have a culture that's distinctive and we shouldn't let people disrespect it. For example, if a Black American actor were to play President Bolivar in a historic piece, what do you think the people of Colombia will feel about that?
Well, I don't think we take offense. I don't
Yeah, they would. They wouldn't go for that.
I mean, we take offense if like the accent is bad, like if the person can't speak Spanish.
Look, if it was a non-Colombian, they would have a problem with it.
Yeah, we
Let's,
have an
let's
issue if it's a non-Colombian. Yeah.
exact, exactly. Just like other groups, if you are portraying their icons and it's not somebody from that lineage, they have a
Mm-hmm.
problem with it. So we're saying the same thing. We have a culture, and we want to make sure that people who check out our culture don't disrespect the culture because we have a distinct culture. That's not us being xenophobic or whatever. We have a lineage and a culture as foundational Black Americans, and we just want people to respect it the same way we respect their cultures. That makes
Oh,
sense?
okay. Yeah, it makes complete sense. I'm just trying to find a differentiation between the type of, like, between the way white supremacy has legitimized gatekeeping then.
Well, this has nothing to do with white supremacy.
But
There's
you're
no,
talking about racism. I heard white supremacy somewhere in here.
yeah, with what I'm talking about with you, as far
Yeah.
as us dealing with other um, Black people from the diaspora, that's not
Okay.
really a white supremacist thing. This is like a family issue where we have to understand
So
certain
I
boundaries.
see it as a preservation type of thing.
It's like a family thing, even though
Okay.
you have,
Okay.
yeah, this is a family thing. This is like a family issue. Even though we have certain issues among family, we just have to have boundaries. Even though you're my cousin, when you come to my house, you can't be all up in my refrigerator eating all my shit.
Oh,
It's that
okay.
type of
Okay.
thing. But
Yeah.
we're still family. But even family has to have boundaries, just like down there in South America and the Hispanic community. Look, you guys have all types of boundaries, and you guys don't let each other dip into each other's culture, like people like John Leguizamo. John Leguizamo was going around talking about he's Puerto Rican, and then his found out his dad is really down there from Colombia, and this guy has all types of identity issues. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I was just, it was honestly like the first time I heard the word itself, and I was just very curious as to how it kind of functioned within the US.
Right, right,
Yeah.
right. But yeah, foundational Black Americans. It's a lineage. It's not an organization. It's not a club. It's not a group. Either you're born a foundational Black American or you're not. Just like you're either born a Colombian or you're not. It's a lineage. That's all it is. It's a lineage.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Great.
All right.
Thank you for teaching me, and I hope you have a great rest of. I'll sit and listen because this is a very interesting topic.
No doubt.
Thank you.
By the way, and Gina, you're in Canada right now. You went to Canada?
Yes.
There you go. You got your ass up out of there, huh? And went to Canada.
No, actually, I want to go back because of everything that is happening.
Mhm.
It's. Have you heard about what's happening here?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah. It's crazy up there. So y'all be
it is
careful.
crazy. Thank
All right.
goodness the states have.
All right. Sorry about that. Let's get Dom. Dom. Let's get Dom in here.
Hey Tariq, how are you?
Hello, Dom. How are you, beloved?
I'm good. I'm good. I just wanted to touch on Stuart. When you were talking with him, and he basically thought that you were assuming that he was a white supremacist, and he said that I don't wake up every morning thinking about how to keep black people down. I just want to say that it's not that, and this goes out to all the white people out there or anyone that's listening in the room. It's not that we think that you in particular are white supremacists. We're saying that you have the looks and the skin to be within the circle and to sit at the table to listen to the conversations that's to be had about FBAs. And what we're saying is basically let us know what they're plotting on and thinking about and saying about us so that we can dismantle it and y'all can help us dismantle it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're not saying that you in particular are white supremacists. Just help us do that. And by y'all helping us, we can beat it. We can fight it. But y'all not doing that. Y'all are just like the rest of them.
Exactly. Thank you so much. And look, with Stewart, I suspect that Stewart could be a white supremacist. Not saying that he is. I suspect that he could be. Because when you go out of your way to deny white supremacy and act like it doesn't exist, that's deception. And deception is a part of white supremacy. And somebody's a damn white supremacist. Somebody is practicing white supremacy, but everybody's doing the denial game. So we have to suspect certain people. And I even asked, hey, won't you let us know who the white supremacists are? There are no white supremacists. What white supremacists? Oh, okay. So you saying ain't none, and we got a whole system of white supremacy? So I'm looking at you funny. Oh, white supremacists, nobody's waking up every day thinking about oppression. Yes, they are. Let me tell black people something. I want y'all to get this. Systematic white supremacy is the only thing that wakes some of these people up in the morning. I'm telling you, it is a religion to some of these white supremacists. That's the only thing that keeps them afloat, knowing they can get up and practice white supremacy. Family, these folks get up. Have y'all seen some of these message boards, places like 4chan? All they do all day is sit around spewing anti Black racism. I mean, these people make it their religion. You go on some of these YouTube comment sections, Yahoo chat rooms, message boards, comment sections. It's nothing but anti Black vitriol. If you turn on an Xbox or a PlayStation, all you hear is N word, N word, N word, N word, N word. The minute these folks, these white supremacists get in groups, it's all about nigger, 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 nigger. It's all about anti-Black racism. It's a religion to these people. Don't think that they ain't thinking about us. We're all they think about. They wake up in the morning thinking about how to spew anti-Black racism and contribute to the system that is oppressive to Black people. They think about what cause can we get behind that's anti-Black. How can we get up there to the Kim Porter sentencing to support the woman who shot that Black man? How can we go see Kyle Rittenhouse live in concert? How can we go support the Proud Boys? It's a religion to these people. How can we go complain about critical race theory, talking about Black history and, oh, y'all stop being victims? Anti-Black racism is a religion. When they say they don't get out of bed thinking about us, that's a lie. Thinking about us and thinking about oppressing us is what gets them out of bed. These people would literally die if they couldn't oppress us no more. That's why they cling to systematic white supremacy. If there was no more white supremacy to practice, they would wither off and die. That has become so much of their identity. Don't ever be fooled by them acting like they got all of this other stuff on their minds. They don't. It's us. You get these people around each other, they start spewing the nigger jokes. We are all these white supremacists think about. We are rent free in their minds day in and day out. Family, they have whole think tanks where billions of dollars are poured in, coming up with ways to further oppress Black people. Nobody's confused. It's a religion. It is a religion to these people. They are not confused in any sense of the word. Let's get some of these people in here. Let's get Brick Suit in here. Brick Suit. We're going to get Brick Suit in here. Then I get you next, TL. Brick Suit, turn your microphone on.
I think probably the first time
Get,
that I became aware of this concept is a debate that I can't really remember the time it happened, but it was between April Ryan and Don Lemon on TV.
hold on. What's the concept? Let's slow down, Brick. Let's slow down a little bit. Now, what concept are you saying, sir? Turn your microphone on, Brick.
Oh, the concept of what I
Okay.
now understand as being foundational Black American or FBA. And
Got it. Got it. Okay.
the
There you
argument
go. Got it.
the argument that they were having was about Kamala Harris, who at the
Oh,
time was claiming to be African American. And
right.
April Ryan was claiming that yes, she is African American, and Don Lemon was saying no, she's not African American. She's Black. She's a woman of color, but she's not African American. And I'm just curious where Yeah, am I interpreting that correctly? Because at the time they didn't use a term like FBA, and I'm wondering where
Right.
you would be on that argument.
Okay. Thank you. Very good question. Let me answer that. Yeah, Kamala Harris is definitely not a foundational Black American, and most foundational Black Americans do not support Kamala Harris because she clearly stated what she wasn't going to do for Black people. And this is another thing, and this is what made me hip years ago to the con game with the political structure when it comes to putting certain um, non-white people in power positions. I peeped this a long time ago. This is why I started to look at our lineage a lot and really get back up on the work of Dr. Claude Anderson. When we look at the political structure, they would always get Black people and put them in certain positions, and these Black people never had these foundational Black American backgrounds, like Barack Obama. They allowed him to become president because he had zero foundational Black American background, nothing. He's not a foundational Black American. But then other people, Eric Holder, he comes from Barbados, I think. And then people like Colin Powell, who's Jamaican. Now, Kamala Harris, who's Jamaican. And that was by design because they understand foundational Black Americans, we have a certain, not only lineage, but we have a certain spirit. And they understand instinctively, if you get in a certain position, you're going to want to do something for your people. If you get into a certain position, you might just flip bad and say, hey, damn this agenda, let me help my people. Like Marion Barry, for example. Marion Barry, even though he was on the crack pipe or whatever, but Marion Barry, he got into a political position and he actually helped Black people. You understand? You get certain Black people who come from foundational Black American backgrounds, they will actually help the Black community because they have a camaraderie with that community. So the white supremacists, they understand that, and they understand some of the disconnect that a lot of foreigners have with us. That we don't have a disconnect with them. If we see another Black person, hey, that's our brother. We've been like that historically. But they understood that certain foreigners come over here, they're not going to have that same camaraderie lineage uh, connection to us. And they can exploit that. So they know if they put a Barack Obama in office, and he's not going to do anything for Black people, which he didn't, he's not going to, that's not going to play on his conscience. Obama sat here and just had complete neglect for Black people. That's why Barack Obama can't show his face around Black folks no more. They understood that. In Kamala Harris, they put Kamala Harris in a position. They knew Kamala Harris, and Kamala Harris said she wasn't going to do shit for us, but she's going to do things for immigrant groups. They understand this. They understand putting these people in certain positions. They're not going to have a camaraderie with us, and it's not going to play on their conscience. They can neglect us without feeling any guilt about it. And that's why right now they are talking about putting a so-called Black woman on the Supreme Court. But when you look at the backgrounds of these women, many of these women are non-FBA or they got zaddies. And that's another thing. They make sure to get a Black person who's in some type of interracial relationship because, again, that Black person is not going to have the same type of camaraderie often with the Black community. That's why Clarence Thomas, they made sure he had a white woman, and they looked at his background and saw his vitriolic views against Black people, and he's been in the Supreme Court for a gazillion years, not doing a damn thing for Black people. You understand? So they know how to pick certain Black folks for certain positions. They know how to vet their niggers. They really know how to vet them, and this is why we have to concentrate on our lineage. So when we talk about reparations claims, we can see the trick baggery that's associated with it. Just like HR 40. This HR 40 thing is spearheaded right now by Sheila Jackson Lee, who's a non FBA. That's why this thing is not going anywhere. That's why the HR 40 ain't going nowhere. They'll kick that thing around and just let it float around. It's not going nowhere. So this is why we have to understand our lineage, and only people from our lineage should be able to represent our group because we're going to have our own group's interests. This is why other groups don't let us represent them. Other groups don't let us get in their political affairs, but we have other groups all in our political affairs all the time. And that's why foundational Black Americans don't get shit. We don't get nothing in the political arena because we got everybody and their mama representing us and misrepresenting us. And this is why us as foundational Black Americans, we're taking our lineage back. We're taking our culture back. We're saying, no, we're not going to have anybody misrepresent us. Nobody has our interests in hand. We have our interests at hand. And we're going to look out for our group. That's just what it is. Let's get some folks in here. A lot of y'all in here tonight. Boy, we are lit, as the kids say. Let's get Kevin in here. Brother Kevin McCrum. All right, Kevin McCrum, holler, hop in the room, brother. What's up, Kevin McCrum?
Hi, Tariq. How are you?
How you doing, brother? Now your
Listen,
phone.
I have been listening to a point of like rage. Listening to you speaking, I agree with you on the vast majority of points that you're making, but you're going about it in an extremist way. I feel. Now, I don't.
Wait, hold
Hold
on.
on, no, you hold on. I don't live in America.
No. You don't tell. Well, first of all, you don't tell me to hold on. Calm your ass down. All right. Now, first, you got to hold on because your phone is extremely janky. You got to hold on because I'm telling you to hold on because I can't hear you because you're calling from an iPhone 1. So that's number one, why you got to hold on. So you got to clear your phone up so I can hear you. Number two, you're going to respect my space. You don't bark out no demands. If I tell you to hold on, pump your brakes, sir. All right. Now show respect. All right. Turn your microphone on and speak and get your phone together, sir. Come on now. Don't do that.
Can you hear me okay? Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm asking, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you a little better, sir.
Now, do
Now,
you know where my accent is from by chance at all?
do I know where your accent is from?
Yes, it's a very strong one, so people in the room will be a wee bit shocked.
Okay. Now,
I'm
where are
not
you
from
from?
a, I'm from
Where are you from?
I'm from Scotland.
Okay. Oh, you're a white man.
Now, the fact you said a white man, my best friend is black. Now we don't have, and I agree with you here. Please let me speak. We don't call him Nigerian Scotland or Nigerian Scottish. He's
Okay.
Scottish. So
Okay.
I
What are
agree
you?
with you. Right? I agree with you on the
Okay.
vast majority of your points. Yeah.
Okay. You're going to have to slow down because I don't know what you're talking about, sir. Now, let's slow it down. I'm trying to give you an opportunity to speak. You have an accent. I don't know where your accent is from. I don't know where you're from. Are you? Now, who are you? Are you Nigerian? Are you a Nigerian person?
I'm from Scotland, but if you wish, I can do it in a generic American accent so the rest of the listeners
This
can
is this is
understand.
not performative arts. Are you Nigerian?
No, I am Scottish, I am white.
That's what I just said.
Yes, can you understand me though? If
Okay.
not, I can do a generic American accent if need be.
Okay. What's your point of calling up?
My
You sound
point,
like a Nigerian pretending to be Scottish.
right, I'll do it in American. My point is, I'm from Scotland. My best friend is from Nigeria. He immigrated here 15, 16 years ago. We don't call him Nigerian Scottish. So for that point, I give you your props on the whole American African thing. Yeah.
Okay.
However, I don't base anything on the color of his skin. It's the way it works here. If you're a nice person, we treat you nice. If you're an asshole, we treat you like an asshole. What you have to do is stop fucking talking about race. Now, America is now, and no, this is something you're not gonna like in your chat, but genuinely stop. Fuck the best way to dissect racism is stop talking about it. Whether you're black, yellow, poor.
Okay. We're not doing the not talk about white supremacy thing. White supremacy exists. Okay. Systematic white supremacy exists, even over there where you're from, sir. Okay. And we're not going to stop talking about it. because it shouldn't exist. As long as there's systematic white supremacy, we have to talk about it because it's a problem. And you're over there in the United Kingdom, okay? There is white supremacy in the United Kingdom, sir. There's white supremacy over there, sir. You're part of the United Kingdom. Over there, the United Kingdom spread white supremacy around the planet. What are you talking about? Turn your microphone on, sir.
Right, I'm going to say this and as best I can in this accent. So if you can understand
Okay,
me,
let
let
me
me
let me
know.
ask you something. Over the white supremacists in the UK went around the planet colonizing damn near the whole planet. Over the British government, listen, the UK white supremacists colonized damn near the whole planet and spread white supremacy. So you're telling us we shouldn't talk about it?
Right, Tariq, are you followed by and following a gentleman called Sir Geoffrey Palmer? Sir Geoffrey Palmer.
I want you to answer my question. Your culture over there, the white supremacists, went around the world spreading white supremacy, and you're telling us we shouldn't talk about it.
No, I'm asking you a question. A very good learned gentleman colleague friend of mine called Sir Geoffrey Palmer from Jamaica, who is
What
a follower of
the
yours.
what does Jeffrey Palmer have to do with this conversation? Okay? Because little deflective arguments like this is another deceptive form of white supremacy itself. It's to just talk in circles and waste time. You're not going to waste time.
If you would let me speak and finish, give me 30 seconds and I will leave.
Okay, you're not
Yeah?
going to talk about some random person because
No,
that's
the random person is the person you follow, who is a friend of mine, a learned colleague, who literally, if you Google his name, brought up the whole sugar trade from Glasgow, where I'm from. Jamaica Street, Winston Churchill Street. He brought up the whole thing about slavery in Glasgow, like part of the empire. Like you're speaking, but what you're saying.
okay. Let's try some other people. I'm not trying to hear this dude babble in a Scottish accent. Okay, I'm not trying to hear that because he's babbling and I really don't understand what he's saying, and he's making some anecdotal reference. Now, if you say we should start talking about racism and the white supremacists from your land spread white supremacy all over the world, that's the reason why I'm talking English right now. They spread it over here. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about it. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. Yeah, we're talking about that. All right, let's get this person, Pastor. Let's get Pastor. He has a picture of Joe Biden in this page. So we got a Biden supporter. What's up, Pastor? Okay. Oh, what happened? Oh, let's try. Okay. Okay, Pastor, you turn your microphone on. Hello, Pastor. How are you?
Fine, thank you. I thank you for the privilege of being able to come up to put in my 2 cents. Um,
Yes,
I
indeed.
can't understand how anybody in America could deny racism. One
Right.
of the things that stuck out in my mind when our President Obama was in office, one of the things, if you recall, when he first got elected, was is that he said that he knows because of his skin color that we need to sit down at the table and talk about it. So the other speaker that was just on was totally wrong when he said we shouldn't speak about it.
Right.
Racism, according to our former president, and this is fact, is it's taught us. It's not something that we inherited. It's something that we learned. It's learned behavior. And one of the things
Hmm.
that I share about racism is when a child is born, they know absolutely nothing. They are so innocent, they don't even know their right hand from their left. As
Yeah.
the child grows and the mind develops and they're able to comprehend it, the parents are the ones that tell the child their name because they didn't even know that. And as they're growing up, it depends on the family environment and what they're allowed to say and do. If they're saying that we are a superior race, which is exactly what white supremacists do, like Donald Trump is. He's a white nationalist. We had the Ku Klux Klan member, I think he's a grand wizard, as the president. That's scary. He suppressed so many African Americans, and he called the neo Nazis. Some of them he said was good. I don't know. I was raised Jewish. I don't know of anybody that would acknowledge any Nazi as being good. Now, what I'm a little confused on, sir, and I mean this in the most respectful way, is when you're
Right.
talking slavery, I know religiously we've been and the two different reasons why. The Jewish people were enslaved in Egypt for 400 years. So it's the bigotry and the racism has a and the anti-Semitism is affecting the Jewish people as well. Ron DeSantis, who is a Republican governor here in the state of Florida, where I am, has the same ideas as one of the most treacherous, treasonous former presidents, in my opinion, that we have ever had in the name of Donald Trump. Our democracy is on the line. If the black people now see, I did law enforcement, and I have to be honest, I was volunteer, but each department that I worked in, with the radio, they never said it's a Caucasian or it's a African American. No, no, no. When the dispatchers in all the police departments, they say it's a black person and they give the description. It's a white male or a female. It's a brown person, and they may ask, are they Latino? Are you sure? Because they don't want to go and grab the innocent bystander. That's at least what they say. But the police departments, people forget in the 1800s when the slaves were released, or they started their own police force, and they were to go and capture the black people all over again and enslave them. And that's how it evolved into the police department, because that's what they were supposed to do. I look at it like this, and then I will stop. I look at it like this. If God created us, if you believe that Jesus is our Lord and Savior, and he created us in his image, he's the one that created the colors. He created black, white, brown, and I don't care if you're red with purple polka dots. We're all created equally, and we're all the apple of God's eyes. To make a judgment against somebody and have harbor so much bitterness and so much hatred against the African American, the black people, and the brown people and the white people is pathetic, because you're making fun of God's creation. If you're going to judge a person, judge them not because of the color of their skin, but judge them from the fruit of what they bore, their action. If they've been kind to you and loving to you, why would you judge them for mere pigments of your skin color? I've never understood it. I've never taught my children racism, and I'm blessed by that. And they're not teaching my grandchildren that. It starts at home, I believe, and education. Why can't we get educated more again in the school? We must stop the cancel culture of the Republican Party, where they want to take books away when it talks about black people here in America, so that they can distort the truth. And they're doing it now, and this stuff is on the news. And I thank you, sir, for holding this precious space so that we can air our differences, if there are any, and that we have to stand on our word, and that you would stop us, including yours truly, to back up what we say. Sir, I yield back my time to you.
Thank you so much. All right. Let's get my man with the ice grill. Let's get him in, and then we'll get let's get Mark. Hey, what's up, brother? Okay. 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 Let's get Mark in. Mark, come on in.
Hey, Tariq, thanks for having me, man. Really appreciate it. So,
Now, Mark, have you been on before?
I have not, but
Oh.
we
Okay.
have had our Twitter differences before. So,
Oh, really? What were our differences? What
well,
happened?
so I'm gonna play it. This is and it's very short, so it's not gonna take a lot of your time. I think it fits right in. It goes to the topic exactly. Are people confused about racism? So I was in the last week of. I'm a video journalist. I went to Minneapolis, Minnesota during the last week of the Derek Chauvin trial, and an
Okay.
amazing interview happened where I, spoke with a gentleman by the name of Melvin, and normally I get the thoughts of the people, but he wanted to ask me a question. And for some strange reason, I broke from character, which is getting his thoughts, and I let him ask me a question. So it's short, Tariq. You'll probably remember.
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. We're not going to do performative arts here. Just you don't have to play a clip. Just say what happened in your own words. Let's not do some performance things here. Just say what did he ask you? Let's make it to the point.
So this is exactly what happened. I'll be respectful and I'll ask you. It's gonna be nice and short, and it's very.
Okay, let's try it again. I don't want you to play a clip. I've said it once, and I don't want to repeat myself. You don't have to do that. You can just simply say what he asked you and what does that have to do with the conversation. Okay? Because now it's smelling trollish. It's very trollish smelling. Okay? So now we're trying to have a constructive dialogue here. So just simply specify what does this have to do with the conversation.
Well, it's kind of tragic because it'd already be over. But the what happens is Melvin asks me, "What does whiteness mean to me?" And I think you remember this, Tariq. I think perhaps the 1,500 people in here want to hear this. It's very.
Okay. I don't know you. I don't remember you. And you were not that significant for me to remember, sir. And the fact that I keep asking you to get to the point and you will not, I'm going to let you go and have your mayonnaise. If you do not, I'm going to give you one more chance. I'm going to give you another opportunity. I'm going to give you another opportunity. I'll be fair. I'm not going to be dismissive, but I'm going to let you go have your mayonnaise if you do not say what's going on, because I looked at your page and I can already tell there's some white supremacist nonsense going on your page. Just looking at your profile, I can already tell you're one of these suspected white supremacists. So I can see what you get down there. So, Mark, let's try it again. Let's get to the point if you have anything to say, or you're going to get into this mano-splaining. You're getting into mayo-splaining. So, Mark, turn your microphone on, sir.
Thanks, Tariq. I think it's kind of a horrific statement to call me a white supremacist or have anything to do with white supremacy.
Why so?
I have nothing to do with it.
Okay.
I'm a very fair guy, and I'm trying to really bring something interesting and honestly get your reaction.
I don't want a reaction to anything. I want you to answer the question. What point are you trying to make? Why don't you just simply ask your question or say what's been said to you? Or what's your
I didn't.
point? What's your point?
I didn't. I wasn't even trying to make a point. I'm a journalist. I try to ask a question to get an answer. So the point, I don't make points. I make questions. You make the point, sir.
Okay. So you're being a TWT. You're calling up to waste time, which is
Not
another
at all. Not at all. I could have
that,
already.
that's another tactic of white supremacy, sir. Mark, where are you from, Mark? Where's your family from? If you don't look Anglo, where's your family from, sir?
I'm not following. They're from the United States, the Northeast.
Okay. Where did your family immigrate here from, Mark?
Uh, all over Europe, if that makes it simple.
Sir, everybody's not from all over Europe.
Okay, fine.
Where did your family?
I have some English, some Irish, some Italian. I have some Iberian Peninsula, which would be Spain, France area.
Okay, let's try it again. because you're not a bottle of olives. Okay. Your mom and dad came from a particular country. Where did they come from when they immigrated here?
My mom and dad are Americans.
Let's try it again. Okay, Mark. They immigrated here from somewhere, though. Where did
Okay,
they come from? Where did they immigrate from?
so that would be Ireland and Sicily.
There you go. So you're a European Negro.
I'm not really sure. I'm not sure what that means, so I'm not ready to agree or disagree.
So you're black like me.
I mean, perhaps. I mean, maybe I am. I really don't know what that means.
That means if you're from Sicily, you have African DNA, strong African DNA. And I'm looking at your picture and I can see it. So you're a light skinned brother from Sicily.
Okay,
Okay.
if you say so, Tariq.
If I say so,
Well, you are an authority on that. Am I wrong? I'm trying to follow the conversation.
well, this is what the white supremacists were saying when Sicilians came over here. Y'all weren't classified as white really until the 30s, 40s. So they weren't even classifying you as white if you're a Sicilian.
Okay.
This is not me talking. This is them.
Yeah, it doesn't change my day in the least, but
Right, right. I'm
okay,
just saying. I'm just trying to get an understanding of who you are. And now, and this is why I wanted clarity. So you're a light skinned brother from Sicily. I've been to Italy and I've seen a lot of the real Italians, and they look like light skinned black people, a lot of them. So you're
right?
a light skinned black person,
Okay.
but you classify yourself as white, right?
If I filled out a form, then I would say white.
Got it. Okay. So how do you chime in on this conversation? Do you think people are confused about racism, sir?
Oh, I do.
Okay, how so? In your opinion?
Well, I think there's many things that occur day to day, and honestly, I think we downplay what racism or excuse me, we overplay what racism is. Racism is a problem. It's real. It's dangerous. A lot of people have died or suffered from it. And what we have here is it's used too much, where people maybe have a disagreement of ideology, and then it goes to racism. I mean, just in the beginning, or just in the middle, rather, you talk about perhaps I have some white supremacy on my page, or you see some white supremacy. I think that how is that not racism? How is that not being confused about racism? I have nothing to do with white supremacy.
Oh, okay. So, um, pointing out suspected anti-black propaganda, that's racist. Me pointing out anti-black propaganda,
Well, it's if you have anything you could specifically cite. Remember, you
sir.
said if you're
Mark,
going to say something, you got to stand on it.
I can hear you, sir.
I said, remember. You said it to the girl from
Mark, I couldn't hear
Colombia.
you.
Can you hear me
Mark,
now?
I can hear you now. Go ahead. You said something. What did you say
Okay.
about Colombia?
Yeah, remember the girl from Colombia. You told her if you're going to say something, you have to stand on it. So what on my
Right.
page is white supremacy specifically? Stand on it, Tariq.
Yeah, I'm standing on it right now. I'm looking at your page, and what you have, you're standing there with the camera with some people, some black people from an inner city area.
Yeah, Minneapolis. It was an
Right.
incredible interview, and I tried to play it.
Okay. And usually, when you guys find black people, usually you'll make sure you find black people with bonnets on their heads, and you go seek out people like that and have interviews, and you cherry pick certain interviews to frame a narrative about all black people.
Not me, Tariq. I am
Not you?
legitimate.
Oh, you the
No,
truth. Okay.
I am the truth. I'm very legitimate. And in fact, that was one of the greatest things I ever did was go to Minneapolis during the last week of the Chauvin trial. We've been
Right.
talking for a long time. I keep trying to tell you, I do fantastic work.
By the
And
way, and by the way, this new trial with the woman who got a slap on the wrist. Do you agree with the sentencing she got? The slap on the wrist sentencing, Kim Potter. Do you agree with that sentence? By the way.
you know, I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
not
That
sure I do.
I understand. Yeah, I got it. Also, a quick question, just to understand your ideology. Kyle Rittenhouse. Do you agree with Kyle Rittenhouse being acquitted?
Yes.
There you go. All right. So we see where your get down is. So
I'm not sure. I mean, my
I,
get down
we
is that
got it.
it's a clear case of self defense.
Right. That's I'm white and I say so.
No,
So
it's not.
okay,
No, you
so
asked my
that is
opinion. You
that's
asked my
I'm white and I
opinion.
say
It's not me or you. It's you asked my opinion. I gave it.
right. And usually the Kyle Rittenhouse people invoke the I'm white and I say so
Well,
narrative.
again, why am I
So
Kyle Rittenhouse people?
yeah,
I think for
anybody
myself.
anybody who says that's self defense, that's I'm white and I say so, which is a form of white supremacy.
I just because it's self defense, that means it's white supremacy?
Well, I'm white and I say so is self defense. Calling it
No,
self
no. I'm telling you my
defense.
opinion because you asked it.
Well, I just wanted to make sure that you were on that wave, and you are. And now I see what your angle
Well,
is.
I
But go
came
ahead.
with
But go
that
ahead.
wave
But go
because
ahead.
I listened to the evidence.
Got it. Right.
The entire trial, Tariq.
Right. It was I'm white and I say so, sir. That's all it was.
No, no,
Which is white.
no. Why would I do that?
White.
That doesn't even make any
That's
sense.
all. That was the I'm white
How
and
embarrassing for me to say I'm white. That
I.
doesn't even make any sense, Tariq. Why would I do that?
The Kyle Rittenhouse trial was the I'm white and I say so trial. That's all it was. It was a mockery of the justice system. It was all about maintaining white supremacy. And anybody who agrees with that, I suspect that they are too a white supremacist. Not saying you are, but I just
Well,
suspect
you
you.
did originally, but it's okay.
No. I've always suspected you. No. I never actually called you a white supremacist. I said you had some white supremacist stuff on your page. I never said you were a white supremacist, sir. Come on now. If you say something, stand on it.
Well, Tariq, it's been great. I'm gonna now that we've warmed up a little bit. You and I respect you.
Uh huh.
How about I play it?
No, I don't want you to play no clips, buddy.
I didn't think you did. I thought you'd actually surprise me, but
I
you
don't, want,
didn't.
I don't really want to hear no
Hey,
clips.
Tariq, thanks so much, man. Keep up the work. I can't say great work, but keep up the work. I appreciate the time.
Absolutely, and shout out to your family in Italy, brother. All right.
Okay, see you, Tariq.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, he thought he was slick. Yeah, he thought he was slick. Lord. Yeah. Yeah. I already knew he was one of these Rittenhouse supporters. Yeah, anybody who runs around talking about Rittenhouse was self-defense, it's safe to suspect that they're white supremacists. All right, let's try this person here. Crypto lawyer. Crypto lawyer. Let's get you in here, sir.
Hey,
Crypt,
hey, Tariq, how are you?
how are you, crypto
I'm
lawyer?
good, sir. How are you tonight?
I'm good. Now, you are a white male from where? Where are you
You
from?
know what? Doesn't matter now, does it?
Well, it matters because I asked. I like to know who's calling. I like to kind of get an understanding of the people who call up just for conversation's sake. So it does matter. It wouldn't, if I ask, it matters. So why so defensive over a simple question like that, sir?
I'll go ahead and unmute myself because you just muted me.
Right.
So as a lawyer, and
Okay, let's try this again, sir. Let's try it again. I asked you where you're from. You're a white male. And I wanted to know where you're from. And you just kind of dismissed that. And we don't do that here. Okay? I'm being very respectful, ask you a very respectful question, and I'm going to have to get a respectful response. You're not going to dismiss me. Now go ahead. Let's try it again. Now, where are you from, sir?
all right. So your question is, where am I from?
Yes.
All right. So I am from Florida.
Got it. Where did your family immigrate from?
Can you define what part of my family?
Your mother and father. Is only two people that birthed you.
Got you. And they were also born here in America.
Let's try it one more time.
You can ask the same question and get the same
If
answer.
you're a white person, they immigrated from somewhere. Where did your mother and father immigrate from?
Again, they were both born here.
Okay. White people are not aboriginal to this land.
If you
So
want to ask a better question, I can answer.
okay, no. Put the mayonnaise and the asparagus down for 1 second. I don't know why you're ashamed of your background, but you shouldn't be ashamed. And I want people to understand a lot of people are ashamed of their European backgrounds. This is why they play this little defensive game right here. I want black folks to see this. A lot of these people are very ashamed of where they had to immigrate from. So, sir, I'm not trying to bring up old wounds, just trying to get an understanding here for the sake of conversation. Why are you ashamed to specify where your family came from?
Well, if you ask where my family came from, I can answer that. That's not what you asked me.
Sir, these are not trick questions. Your mammy and your pappy immigrated here from some part of Europe, and you're ashamed to say where. Okay? Why is that?
So, are you going to let me answer the question, or are you going to mute
I,
me?
I'm not going to let you babble. This is not babble.
Okay, so to answer your question directly, my parents were born in America. If you want to ask where my family's from,
Okay, let's try it. You're doing the semantics game. When I say parents, that means grandparents, great grandparents. I don't have to specify. You know what I'm saying. Where did your parents come from? Grandparents, great grandparents, or whoever. You
so
know
what?
what?
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
Tariq, Tariq, I'd be glad to answer that. You should have just asked me. Um,
You're just doing.
my
Go ahead.
my family, beyond my mother and father, are from the Middle East.
There you go. Both sides from the Middle East.
That's correct, sir.
Okay. What part of is it Persia? Where in the Middle East?
Well, it's now called Israel.
Israel. Okay. So both of them are from Israel.
Yes, sir.
Got it. Okay, there we go. So now what's your question, sir?
So my question is, not an expert on this area, so just want to ask the question, and hopefully I can get enlightened. Um, why is there such a divide amongst foundational Black Americans and those who immigrate here? And I understand the overview, I think, to the best of my knowledge, not being able to fully understand it, but I'd like your take a little bit, being a first time listener,
Right.
on the difference, and I don't want to say divisiveness, but just the difference between the foundational Black Americans, and it seems to me, and I could be wrong, so please correct me, that foundational Black Americans seem not to look highly upon Blacks who immigrate or have immigration status more recent than them. Is that correct, sir?
No, that's not it. No, no,
Okay.
no,
Okay.
no. Right now, there is no real divide. There's not a divide. There's not a divide whatsoever. What we've been doing in the last few weeks, we just been having a lot of online conversations, kind of a family talk, because I'm still family with any black person from Africa or the Caribbean.
Okay.
And there's been online discussions. There's no divide. We all still rock with each other. I'm out here in Atlanta right now visiting, filming. I've been rocking with Caribbean and African brothers ever since I've been here. So we're still family. But among certain online sectors and rooms, we're having discussions about certain levels of disrespect. I'll say that because this is family business, and I don't like to bring others into a lot of our family discussions like that because this is family business.
Sure.
And me and Foundational Black Americans and African brothers and sisters from the diaspora, we're good. We're still in the good space. But we are talking about our lineage as foundational Black Americans because right now we are really pushing a reparations claim. So when it comes to deciding who's getting what, we got to make all of this very clear. So we're clearing a lot of stuff up right now. So when we start getting our tangibles, there won't be any confusion. So that's what this is about. This is what the root of a lot of this stuff is. So it's just a family discussion. Everybody's good gravy. We good to go, but we're fine. There's no real disconnect. All right.
Understood. Uh,
Thank you so. Thank you so much. See, this is family. I don't really want to discuss family business like that with other folks. This is family business. Okay. Let's be very clear. Because one of the problems is when we have little family disputes, a lot of outsiders will come in and try to exploit that. We got to not let that happen. You see, I remember because we've been having these discussions, and look, people keep their eyes on these discussions. I remember When a lot of this stuff was going down about a year or so ago, a lot of these online discussions about foundational Black Americans and diasporan people, some people from Fox, they wanted me to get on TV and start dumping on Black immigrants. They wanted me to do that. I'm like, hell no. Don't ever ask me to do no nonsense like that. Ever. That's not going to happen at all. This is a family dispute that we're having. And I won't even call it a dispute, just a family discussion, because a lot of brothers and sisters from the diaspora, they're rocking. They feel where we're coming from. They understand that we do have a lineage of as foundational Black Americans, and that lineage should be respected the way we respect theirs. So this is just a family discussion. It's not a beef. Now you got a couple of knuckleheads who try to call up and they feel a certain way, but just like in your family, you got some people that you gotta put some straightening to. All right. Let me see. A lot of folks in the room. Let me see how many people in here. We got almost 2,000 people in this room, ladies and gentlemen. We are in here deep, deep, deep. We're in here deep and heavy. All right. Raise your hand if you want to get on, ladies and gentlemen. If you're ready to talk, raise your hand if you want to get on. This room is packed right now. All right. Raise your hand if you want to get on. Let's get, who is this? The Ultimate Creative. Let's get this person in here. Ultimate Creative, pop on through.
Hello.
Hey, how are
Hi,
you?
hello again. I just had a quick question regarding like the foundational Black Americans perspective of like the ultimate relationship with people of no color. Like how do you want to exist with these people on this land or whatever land that it's this land. You guys want this land,
Right,
correct?
right, right, right,
Okay.
right, right. Right. Well, look, as long as we ain't in a situation where we're oppressed, we're good. We Black people, we've never had a thing where we wanted to dominate and control people. Look, as long as we have a society of justice, I want justice, meaning everybody who needs constructive help will get the most constructive help, and nobody's going to be mistreated. This whole thing where little white supremacists can run around shooting people and they claim it's self-defense, that's
Mm,
not just stuff like that. That's not going to work, and we don't want a Black version of that because we're not insecure like that, just running around trying to harm innocent people. So everything has to be about justice. I want a just society where nobody's being mistreated, systematically mistreated, and anyone who needs help is going to get the help. That's the general foundational Black American narrative, because we've always been people who help people. We help
right.
everybody. We welcome everybody. People can come set up businesses in our communities. We've supported everybody. The only people who have upheld what the American dream is supposed to be is foundational
Mm,
Black Americans exclusively. All these other groups come and hoard themselves in their little enclaves. We're the only group who don't do that shit. And the fact that we're saying, you know what, maybe we should start getting our little resources and tangibles for ourselves. Now people are like, oh, wait a minute now. Hey, let's not
mm-hmm.
do that now, because see, everybody's so used to exploiting us. So no exploitive relationships no more at all. So that's where I want to be with it. You feel me?
Okay. Yes, I do. Okay. Thanks for
Okay.
answering.
Absolutely. Let's get this dude, Angel Tur. Let's get Angel Tur in here. He has a white Obama meme in his thing. All right. What's going on, Angel Tur?
Oh, hi, Tariq. I'm having a lot of fun. You are very engaging and funny. Funny as humor. You're a very humorous person.
Yes, yes.
Yes, you are.
All right.
Hey,
Now, where you from? Where you from?
well, I don't know because when you ask a question, how far do I have to go?
Well, you got a damn accent, so you can't be that far away. You know what I mean? Where you from?
I love you, man.
You sound like,
Listen, I'm Cuban. I'm Cuban.
oh, there you
Yeah, but
go. There
I
you
was
go.
on a space the other day, and then I was like, yeah, but your parents or your ancestors were from Spain. I'm like, well, yeah, you can say that, but also from Africa because Spain was colonized by Moorish. Anyway.
Yes, they were.
Right? And if you look at my nose, that's not Barry Manilow. It looks more like Aretha Franklin. But anyways, I'm proud of who I am, of my ancestors, and
Yes,
everything. Now, a question for you, Tari. Um,
yes,
you talk about your lineage with
yes.
the FBA. Because I was on a space last week that I found quite puzzling, to be honest with you, where there is a theory. Well, not a theory. It's their truth. Their truth for these black folks is that the
Mm,
blacks are indigenous from the Americas.
okay.
Is that where your lineage comes from?
No, this is the thing because people, there's so many different conversations going on, and what happens is they people are mixing all of these conversations together, and I'm going to ask people if you hear a certain conversation in another room, y'all don't have to bring it here
Okay.
because I don't want to have to explain other people's ideologies, and please don't try to mix it all together
Okay.
because I've been very clear on what foundational black Americans mean. Foundational black Americans are black people in the Americas who are descendants of slaves who helped build who were the foundation of the country. We built the country. We built the
Thank you.
country from scratch. Now those people are a combination of African people brought over who were brought over later and also black indigenous people, okay? So all of these people, the black indigenous people and the people who brought over from Africa, they were put on plantations and mixed together, and that became foundational black American. I can't get more clearer than that.
Okay. All right. I appreciate that, man.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay. Because what happens is there's a lot of different conversations. People are talking about ADOS, and no, ADOS ain't got shit to do with nothing. That's an organization. Okay. That's an organization. And then there's some other YouTube trolls who says all types of weird shit, and that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. And then they try to mix it all. No. That's why I like clarity. Yeah, we're talking clarity here. We're talking clarity, and foundational black Americans are the foundation of this country, the people who literally built the United States from the ground up, and that is foundational black Americans. Okay? Who were descendants of slaves in America. Can't get no clearer than that. Let's get this person, Queen Adriana. I think that's your name, Queen Adriana. All right. Let's get some more folks in here.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
I'm good, Queen. How
I'm
are you?
doing well. Thank you for asking.
Yeah.
So, um, my question is, how do you feel towards people who aren't black? And this has a lot to do with the youth of today, um, who are singing the rap lyrics, and when they say GA, do you think that's something that they shouldn't be saying, or what is your take on that?
Well, my thing is they better watch who they say it
Right.
around.
Yeah.
'Cause sometimes they know who to say it around and who not to say it around. Um, it They understand the type of people who hang around them. Let me tell you something. Non-black people don't say that shit around me. They know better. You understand? They don't say it around me because I don't really play like that. I don't let non-black people walk around me yelling all that nigga talk.
Right.
Um, yeah, that's just not my get down. But some people might be cool with that. But it just depends on how coonish the people are around them to let them say that. And that is what it is. But thank you for the call, dear. Let me get some more people. All right. Let me get more people. Well, Tammy got the church hat on. All right. So Tammy, I'm gonna get Tammy in here. Hop on, Tammy.
Here. How are you?
Hey, Tammy, how are you,
I'm
dear?
good. It's my first time visiting this room, so I
Yes.
appreciate it. I want to run something by you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think so? I'm a mental health provider, I'm a licensed psychotherapist, right? And I'm
Yeah.
doing a dissertation. And
Okay.
the dissertation topic is Black men don't go to therapy because they don't need therapy. It's
Mm.
never been, it's like every time you look, it's a stigma. No, the stigma is you all keep calling it a stigma. And
Right.
therapy won't solve Black men's issues. So why am I gonna be sitting
Right.
across from each other talking?
Right. Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Okay, sister. Well, thank you so much,
Thank
sister.
you.
Thank you. Okay. There's more people in here. Okay. All right. Wave your hand if you want to get on, ladies and gentlemen. Wave your hand if you want to get on. And by the way, you get the book Foundation of Black American Race Beta. Okay. Well, so we get Mr. Kidus Yared, and I can tell by the picture you are Somali. Are you Somali, brother? Or either Somali or Sudanese? Kidus? Kidus, can you get on?
Hey, I'm on. Hey, Tariq, how you
Hey,
doing?
Kidus. I'm good. Somali or
No,
Sudanese?
Ethiopian. Kadus Yarid.
Oh, I was.
Kadus Yarid. There's a
Okay,
click.
there you
Kadus.
go. Okay. Kindus. Okay, there you go. What's on your mind, Kindus?
Not Kindus. Kadus. It's okay. Not everybody can say it. We
Kidus.
got
Kidus.
we got
My bad.
we got over 100 letters in sound, so it's hard.
Yes.
Hey, thanks for the space, and Tariq, thanks for holding up your uh, your compass while all these people come in and
Yeah.
say so many things. Um, I mean, one of the things I wanted to ask you particularly because I had a thought in my mind when you said Obama hasn't done much.
Right.
And in my mind, he's done so much. Um, even,
For immigrants, not us,
even,
not Foundation of Black America.
okay, well, even if it means the, in terms of making progress for Black people, because Obama sees himself as a Black man.
What progress?
Progress in terms of a Black person being the president of the United States, a Black person.
That's not that's progress for him, not us. That's not progress.
Well, progress for him, yes, that's true. But as you know, in order to be a president, he has to be elected by the Electoral College, and therefore, there's a process. There's people supporting a Black person.
Us, we supported
Yeah,
him. We supported him, and he didn't support us. So, what was the progress?
the progress is that a Black man eventually became a president of the United States.
That's not progress. That's an intangible symbolic gesture.
Mm-hmm.
It has no tangible significance whatsoever. We didn't need to see a black person sitting in the White House. We need tangibles like he gave to everybody else. He gave everybody else tangibles and not us.
Mm-hmm. Tell me more. So tell me one example, because I'll come to my question of why I'm in this
Okay.
space. Tell me
He
more.
gave tangible He gave tangibles to immigrant groups with that DACA program, all of that Dreamer stuff. And Dreamer is based off the Martin Luther King "I Have a Dream" speech. So using foundational Black American culture to disenfranchise foundational Black Americans to give tangibles to other non-FBA groups. He gave tangible resources to LGBT organizations. He gave tangible resources to Native American organizations. He gave tangible resources to so many other different groups, and not a damn thing to foundational Black Americans. He didn't even protect us from these race soldiers. He didn't prosecute one race soldier for harming a Black person. He couldn't even do that. That's what I mean, sir.
Mm. Okay. Well, I appreciate that.
Thank
I
you
wish
so
I
much,
had.
sir. All right. He has. You have nothing. There you go. You have no retort. Thank you. I respect your honesty, sir. All right. Don't come tell me about some intangible nothing burger that Obama gave us just by his presence. Because that's what they want to tell us. That just Obama being president, well, that's giving black people hope. Yeah, we gave you some hope. The hell is hope gonna do? What am I gonna do with a big bucket of hope? Hope I don't get homeless? Hope I don't get shot by the police? Hope I don't get evicted? The hell with hope. Everybody gets tangibles and we get hope. Man, please. Samir, get on, sir.
Yeah, what up, Tariq?
What's up, Playboy? What's on your mind, man?
Just chilling. Just a little background. I'm Ethiopian Canadian, born in Canada, but
Cool.
my parents are from Ethiopia.
Got it.
When it comes to this question, I just kind of want to talk about the ignorance. I think there's a lot of ignorance with non-FBA Black Americans or from the diaspora. Like I think there's a lot of people that just don't have the knowledge,
Yeah.
and that doesn't excuse anything, but I think it's a good context to sort of exemplify why there's a disconnect. And I like how you brought up. I didn't really think about it, but I like how you brought up. I think you mentioned Sheila Jackson, Kamala Harris. A lot of these people like that are in positions of power, like you said, they're non-FBA, right?
Right,
And
right,
so they have no connection to the homeland. They have no connection to America whatsoever, right?
right.
So like when they get into power, why would they even care about advancing your guys' issues?
Exactly. Exactly. And we've been supporting these people. We're the ones who keep electing them. And they all flip on us at every single time. When they are running for office, they run out here to black people dancing and singing and eating black eyed peas and catfish nuggets. And we sit here thinking, okay, if we help these people, man, we're going to support them. And one day they're going to reciprocate. And the minute they get in their position, they all flip on us without any exception. And foundational black Americans, we're saying enough is enough. We're not playing that game no more. And now people want to cry foul. But hey, it is what it is. All right, let's get a couple of more calls. UK Black. Let's get this person. UK Black Family Household. Let's get this person in here. UK Black. All right. UK Black. If you can unmute that microphone, that'll be great. UK. Okay. And
I'm here, sir. Sorry about that. You kind of
there you go.
did your side.
How are you,
So
sir?
I just didn't, and then I heard UK, and I thought that's an unusual name for someone. That might mean
Oh,
me.
that was you.
Um,
That was you.
Good morning to you, Tariq, and rise up. More
Good
strength to you, my dear brother. We've never
morning.
spoken, and you see the UK. I'm on the campaign that I run, which is called the Black Pound campaign, Black Pound Family Household Union campaign.
Yeah.
As you see it there, UK Black Family Household Union, but it's about bringing a union together of our spending power and people, not based just on our Menelin, but also our spending power, which brings in people who we have legal and biological relationships with in the United Kingdom. And,
Right.
sir, I just want to say I've recently come across what you're doing, and I've always been aware of what you're doing, actually, hidden colors, that sort of thing. Tried to bring greater awareness to it. I'm also disappointed that I see the kind of Billenberg conference taking place, where when one looks up your website and tries to buy hidden colors, you
Mm.
get a kind of response saying, you're going to an unsecure
Ah, man, you're breaking
site.
up, sir.
Yeah, it just went down the screen just then. But there's a notice that comes up that says
Okay, sir. Yeah, it
your
is. Your phone. You're going in and out, so I don't know what's going on with your phone, sir. I'll try to get you back on in a sec. Yeah, there's a bad connection. I don't know. You were going in and out. So, um, all right. Okay, let's get X-rated pimp coins. Okay, what's up, pimp coins? Hop in, man. You've been raising your hand. Hop in, pimp coins. Yes, pimp coins. Hop in.
What up,
What's up?
what up, Tariq? Hey man, I fuck with you heavy player. What up with it?
What's going on, man? Where you from? The Bay?
Nah. I'm from LA. Neighborhood.
Okay.
Neighborhood.
I knew that was a West Coast accent. What's going on with you, player?
Hey, I wanted to tell you a little story. My boy, we used to work at Orkin Pest Control, and I don't want to say where you was living at, but he went there to take care of your problem, but he fucked your shit up. He actually trapped the ants inside your house. You was like, man, fuck Orkin. So my boy was telling me the story. Then we was looking at Hidden Colors about 5 years ago, 5, 6, 7 years ago. And he like, oh, that's the dude right there. I'm like, Tariq Nasheed? He like, yeah. I'm like, bro, you fucked up Tariq Nasheed house, bro. We could have been chilling, eating barbecue and shit, reading books and shit, getting educated, and you fucked up Tariq house, man. So, man, I'm happy I got to talk to you, tell you that little story. I don't know if you remember that shit. It was a minute ago.
I don't remember. I don't remember somebody leaving ants in my crib. So I don't.
No, I
Lord,
just real quick, I just want to say, you gave me my first red pill with Hidden Colors. I appreciate everything you do. Whenever you ready to fuck with this crypto, holla at me. X-rated, pimping coins, fuck with me.
No doubt, brother. Be good, man. All right. All right. Let's raise your hand. Let's get then I have a Sif. I had a Sif in here before. I had a Sif in here before. All right. All right. Let's raise your hand if you want to get in. Raise your hand if you want to get in. Let's get Cool Breeze Steve. Let's get Cool Breeze Steve in here. When it's getting late, damn, it's almost 3 o'clock out here in Atlanta, and y'all in here heavy. You guys in here heavy. All right, let's get Cool Breeze Steve in here.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on, fam?
What's going on with Cool?
Doing pretty good. I appreciate you bringing me up on stage, man. And I got your book and everything, and got hidden colors and everything, man.
Much respect. I respect
appreciate,
that. Go ahead.
appreciate it, brother. And also, like on the side note, I would like to try to do business with you on the side note. I've started a private security company, so whenever you get a chance, I would like to try to do some business with you.
All right, send me an email, brother. Okay, there you go. Send me an email. All right, I want to slow the conversation down. Send me an email for that. All right, much respect. I'm just trying to get the conversation flowing here. All right, let's get who else? Who else here? Let's get okay, some of these people I've seen before. Okay, let's get Jeremy Halassi, the brother. Jeremy, hop on, man. You got a do rag on, so let's see what's going on with that. Hop on, Jeremy, the brother with the do rag on. You taking a selfie in your bathroom with a do rag. So what do you have on your mind, brother? Turn your microphone on. All right, Jeremy. And look, if you want to get on, raise your hand because there's people that's in the request queue. Raise your hand if you want to get on. If you want to get on, raise your hand. Let me get brother Ethan in here because Jeremy is still fixing his do rag. Let's get Ethan in here real quick, Ethan. All right, Ethan. All right, Ethan. I'm gonna turn that microphone on, Ethan. Ethan, I'm giving you a chance. You didn't turn your microphone on. All right, come on, man. Y'all get it together. I know it's late. And y'all probably got KY jelly on your fingers and it's slipping off the phone. So wipe your hands up before you handle the phone. All right, let's try one more thing because y'all over here slipping. All right, who is the baddest? All right, baddest Bantu. All right, this is the baddest Bantu. Let's get the baddest Bantu on here. Hey, baddest Bantu.
How you been?
I'm good, dear. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine. It's late. I'm about to go to sleep, but I just had to stay up and listen to you because you be preaching.
Yes, and what city you in, dear?
I am in St. Louis.
Oh, cool, cool. So what's on your mind?
Um, I wanted to ask. I know someone mentioned it earlier, but I'm seeing a lot of rooms ran by non FBA that are like purposely conflating FBA and ADOS and American freedmen, and they're all like putting them together, and they're calling them hate groups. And
Right.
I wanted to know, did you think that this is done purposely? Because like,
It is. It is. It is. I've seen that too. And they're up there talking about they're going to start um, reporting these groups to the FBI as hate groups and all that. Some of these non-FBA tethers are saying this. But look, Foundational Black American is not a group. It's not a group. There's no leader. There's no boardroom or meeting. And it's a lineage. You're either born FBA or you're not. So um, these people understand that, but they're trying to do these "I'm white and I say so" tactics, but it doesn't work because they're not white, and they're trying to do these desperate measures of complaining because they're upset that foundational Black Americans are acknowledging our lineage and we are gatekeeping our lineage and not letting people hop in and disrespect it and try to remix what our lineage is. And we're holding up our lineage with respect, and we're showing honor to our lineage. And when you do that, that excludes a lot of people who are not a part of that lineage. So this is their way of protesting, just getting in these rooms and making up all types of lies. The great thing is they're powerless to do anything. All of that is them just being frustrated. They're not going to be able to stop us from acknowledging our lineage because this is about codification. You understand? Codification means you can do certain things that nobody can control or do anything about. That's the great thing. That's what power is. Power is being able to do something where people cannot affect you for doing what you're doing. This, what we're doing now, acknowledging our foundational Black American lineage, this is a powerful move. And so many people are complaining because they can't do anything about it. They can't stop us from simply acknowledging who we are. Because it's in your head. You don't have to go to a building, you don't have to meet up with nobody to understand what your lineage is. That's just being on code. And once a bunch of people get on code, on a psychological code, that's real power. You understand? See, that's why they want to compartmentalize us into just a group. See, they like, if they say it's just a group, well, you can go holler at that person, that person, that person, that person who's going to meet over here at a geographic location. See, groups are easier to deal with, but you can't deal with a code. A code is power. And that's what we're on. We're on a code of empowerment, and we're acknowledging our birthright and our lineage and our heritage. And only thing they can do is respect that, because disrespecting it is not an option no more.